Chapter 26, Part 1. Enlightenment of Tao Pill is really extraordinary. In just 3 days, it helped me understand the complicated scriptures of the wordless medical scripture, which at least saved me several years of accumulation and laid a solid medical foundation for myself. At this moment, in terms of medical skills alone, I am afraid that I have surpassed Lin Xiao, the miracle doctor. After all, Lin Xiao is still just a 4th-grade general. The spiritual imprint of the wordless medical scripture in his mind has been unlocked. There is not as much content as the original version in my hand. It's a pity. It would be great if more people could enlighten the Tao Pill. This kind of magical object is definitely an excellent weapon for practicing secret arts and breaking through realms. Chen Beiyuan's natural, noble, and majestic face also looked a little tired at this moment, and he murmured to himself. After 3 days and 3 nights of continuous meditation, even though Chen Beiyuan's physique was far superior to that of ordinary practitioners, the mental exhaustion made him feel physically and mentally exhausted. I saw him put away the wordless medical scripture in his hand, and immediately took out a black elixir from the white jade medicine bottle and swallowed it directly. The overbearing medicinal properties rush wildly through the body in an instant, quickly restoring physical fatigue and mental exhaustion. This black elixir is called Demon Heart Pill, and it is a special elixir from the wordless medical classic. It has great recovery benefits for those who practice magic skills, and can quickly restore people to their peak state in a short period of time. When Chen Beiyuan discovered that the effect of this special elixir was much better than the Devil Flame Pill, specially supplied to him by his family, he decisively abandoned the elixir supplied by his family and replaced it with Devil's Heart Pill. It has to be said that wordless medical scripture, as the main character of Lin Xiao, the miracle doctor, has endless auxiliary methods hidden in it, including not only the medical skills to save people, the poison skills to harm people, but also the alchemy skills to assist in cultivation. It can be said that, including myriad manifestations, there are no wonders. Chen Beiyuan dared to say that it is not an exaggeration to say that these strange medical scriptures are the best in the world. System. Open the Properties panel. Ding. The Properties panel is open. Host. Chen Beiyuan. Age. 18. Cultivation. War Master Advanced. 5th grade. Exercise. Prison Suppressing Demonic Sutra. 8th level. Wordless Medical Sutra. The only one. Combat skills. Forbidden Demon Destroying Flame Palm. Forbidden Demon Destroying Hell Fist. Forbidden Demon Destroying Blood Slash. Prison Suppressing Shackles. Fighting Spirit. Fate. Destiny Villain. After 3 days of study, the wordless medical scripture also appeared directly on the skill column, indicating that Chen Beiyuan had entered the room and successfully mastered it. It's time to go to Donghua Academy. That's my reward. After Chen Beiyuan briefly freshened up, he opened the door and prepared to leave. But the moment he walked out, he was suddenly startled and saw the one-armed old man Chen waiting outside the door with a broken knife in his hand. Next to Mr. Chen, there was a tall and burly middle-aged figure at this moment. Dad! Chen Beiyuan shouted. The middle-aged man in front of him is clearly Chen Beiyuan's father, the current head of the Donghua Chen family, the military boss of the 3rd theater of the empire, Chen Zhiqing. The 1st and 2nd theaters are both directly controlled by the imperial royal family. This new generation of military leader in the Donghua Empire is currently wearing simple uniforms and looks like a handsome, middle-aged uncle. He is not as serious and aloof as ordinary people imagine. Out of seclusion, Chen Zhiqing looked up and down at the son who had left seclusion in front of him. After confirming the high-level cultivation of the 5th grade War Master, he couldn't help but nodded, with a happy smile on his face. Before you retreat, ask the family to help find suitable guardian puppets and guardian beasts. The family has found some, but most of them are a little bit disappointing. It just so happens that there are many people visiting these days. I have asked the Bai family, and people from the Wei family will help with the search, and there will probably be news in a while. Chen Beiyuan was stunned. He didn't expect his father, Chen Zhiqing, to be so concerned about this matter. Bai family, Wei family. These two families are both the top families in the empire, with the 8th grade war emperor suppressing luck. The Donghua Bai family is the family behind Chen Beiyuan's fiancée. It is famous for mastering special beast control methods. It is even known as the beast control family within the empire. The Wei family is the most low-key top family in the empire. Most of the time, they are like transparent people, but no one dares to underestimate this family easily. Because what the Wei family is best at is puppet. Chen Beiyuan knew very well that despite Chen Zhiqing's understatement, it was not easy to ask these two families for help, and it would definitely cost some favors and benefits. There is no free lunch in this world. Even if the Bai family and the Chen family are engaged, some necessary interests still need to be calculated clearly. Although his father Chen Zhiqing's words about the things found by the family were a bit off, Chen Beiyuan was certain that the level of those things would never be lower than the 6th grade War King. The reason why I didn't give it to him directly, but chose to let the other two top families help, just because a father is always used to doing his best to give the best things to his children. Chen Beiyuan was silent. At this moment, He could clearly feel the silent care and support from his family. You know, even those top aristocratic families are mostly filled with interest disputes, and it is not uncommon for them to fall out at the slightest disagreement. But what the Donghua Chen family gave him more was family affection. This top family, which was tragically exterminated in the original work, may be the only family that values family ties more than interests. In the original work, no matter what choice the original person made, the Chen family chose silent support and support. Even at the moment when the Chen family was about to be destroyed, Chen Beiyuan chose to send his original body away, leaving him alone to bear the greatest pressure. Suddenly, there was a hint of gloom in Chen Beiyuan's eyes, as if he had made a decision. Now that he is here, everything that was destined to happen will no longer exist. Okay, I know you have to go to Donghua University, so let's not talk about it now. However, there is one more thing I want to tell you. The monsters of the younger generation from all the Empire's families are returning one after another. They are obviously coming for you. It is not convenient for the Chen family to take action on the matter of the younger generation, so we have to you handle it yourself. Also, that little girl from the Bai family, your fiancée, should be back soon. According to your mother's wishes, your affairs should be settled as soon as possible. She still wants to have a grandson. However, I have reservations about this. After all, you have just turned 18. There is no need to enter the grave of marriage so soon. You can play for a few more years, Chen Beiyuan said nonchalantly. Regarding the previous incidents between Chen Beiyuan and Leng Ruobing, the head of the Chen family didn't even mention it. This kind of thing is nothing. Who has never been young? Who in the entire Yinjing city doesn't know? Donghua Bai's family and Chen Beiyuan's fiancé both knew about Leng Ruobing's existence. But so what? Who cares? Chapter 27, Part 1. Donghua Academy. A cold and beautiful figure wearing a white dress, with skin as white as snow and long flowing hair, was standing at the entrance of the academy. Although she had dressed up carefully in advance, her cold and beautiful face was full of haggardness and fatigue, no longer as arrogant as before. There were still bloodshot eyes and a hint of worry. She glanced at the door from time to time, as if she was expecting someone to appear. Whenever there was movement at the door, she couldn't help but look. But when she saw that the person coming was not the one she was waiting for, she would show a look of disappointment. For the past 3 days, Leng Ruobing has been under great pressure and was on the verge of collapse. In just 3 days, the fat meat of the Long family was divided and dismembered bit by bit after being targeted by countless jackals, tigers, and leopards. Not only did they spit out everything they had eaten before, but all the industries under the Long family were eaten up by various forces. The strong men cultivated by the Long family over the years were attacked by a certain mysterious beast, one after another, either beaten half to death or directly destroyed. The Long family members were reported for a large number of corruption and abuse of power, and were taken away directly by the people of the court of trial. Some Long family members could not bear the pressure and prepared to escape from Yinjing City and seek refuge in other countries. As a result, they disappeared mysteriously not long after leaving Yinjing. Now, the Long family only has one ancestral house left in Yinjing City. All the Long family members hid in it, feeling anxious all day long, and they didn't even dare to go out of the door. They were obviously scared. All the Long family members also changed from wanton humiliation and ridicule to begging, hoping that she would go to Chen Beiyuan to apologize and reconcile. Even Long Alfing, the head of the Long family who had woken up briefly, was no longer as high-spirited as before and became depressed, asking her to try her best to get Chen Beiyuan's forgiveness so that the Long family could survive this disaster. Obviously, the Long family knew that with just one word from Chen Beiyuan, all the crises of the Long family would disappear without a trace in an instant. Even Leng Ruobing knew this. However, when she lowered her head and wanted to find Chen Beiyuan, she couldn't even enter the gate of the Chen family. In the past 3 days, those who were qualified to bring gifts and step into the gate of the Chen family and visit were all the top families and top forces in the empire. During this period, even the imperial family of the empire specially sent people to visit. Leng family? Leng Ruobing? A woman from a nouveau riche family? Sorry, I'm really not qualified. Leng Ruobing endured the weird, mocking, disdainful, playful eyes of the guests coming and going, and stood at the gate of the Chen family for a day and a night, hoping that Chen Beiyuan would be willing to come out to see her. Unfortunately, she obviously overestimated herself. From beginning to end, she didn't even see the shadow of Chen Beiyuan. When she returned to the Long family with a face full of disappointment and a lost soul, she heard another piece of bad news. Her mother, who had been in a coma, suddenly disappeared. This news instantly became the last straw that broke the camel's back for Leng Ruobing and directly shattered the dignity of this lucky heroine. It's the 3rd day. He will come. He will come. Leng Ruobing's eyes were slightly lowered. Her fingertips grasped the corner of her white skirt. Her body was trembling slightly. Her face was pale, without a trace of blood. Not far away, Lin Xiao looked at the white-clothed figure that could be blown away by a gentle breeze, and he was also heartbroken. He also knew the situation of the Long family clearly in the past few days, but he was powerless. At this moment, he couldn't protect himself. Originally, he was ordered by Donghua Academy to suspend his studies and could not continue to stay in the academy, and he had to leave. But Lin Xiao was afraid that he would be blocked by the people of Donghua Chen family when he left the academy gate. For this reason, he has been staying in the academy, saying that he would stay to take care of his seriously injured godfather. The school leaders took into consideration the special relationship and status between Mr. Cheong and the principal, and ultimately did not drive Lin Xiao away. It can be said that in the past 3 days, not only Leng Ruobing, the heroine of luck, was tossed around. Even Lin Xiao, the son of fortune, was manipulated to the point where he didn't want to be left behind. Chen Beiyuan, you really deserve to die. Lin Xiao roared crazily in his heart, but he could only unleash incompetent rage. At this moment, there was nothing he could do about Chen Beiyuan. On the contrary, he was manipulated by the other party. Just when Lin Xiao fell into an incompetent rage, Leng Ruobing in front suddenly heard the movement. He raised his eyes and saw a noble figure getting out of the car, and he couldn't help but feel happy. For some reason, after seeing that familiar yet unfamiliar figure, the annoyance deep in her heart instantly disappeared without a trace. Beiyuan. Leng Ruobing's face was filled with unconcealable joy, and she shouted towards Chen Beiyuan who was walking in front of her. But the next moment, she was stunned. The joy on her face was stagnant, and her dark hair was slightly blown by a gust of breeze. I saw that Chen Beiyuan didn't even stop or look at her. He just passed her by. They were like strangers in two worlds. Just when Chen Beiyuan stepped into the gate of the academy and was about to walk inside, he suddenly felt his clothes tighten behind him, frowned, and stopped. Let go. I won't let go. Leng Ruobing, who was holding the corner of his clothes, had a face full of grievances. His eyes were filled with tears, and he looked at the heartless man in front of him with a trembling voice. Chen Beiyuan, I can apologize to you for what happened before. I know I was wrong. I can pay the price for the wrong things I did before. As long as you let the Leng family go, let go. Leng Ruobing, do you think the current situation of the Leng family is caused by me? Chen Beiyuan looked stern and directly interrupted what Leng Ruobing was going to say next. Although Leng Ruobing had no words, her silence and pleading eyes revealed her true thoughts. Without Chen Beiyuan's signal, how could the Leng family be in the current situation? Seeing Leng Ruobing's expression, Chen Beiyuan's stern face turned into a strange arc, with a strong sense of ridicule and disdain. You're so childish. I can tell you clearly that from the beginning to the end, I did not instruct anyone to attack the Leng family. The Leng family's current situation is all your own fault. Do you know how many things the Leng family did before in the name of the Donghua Chen family? Buying and selling by force, killing people, arbitrarily enclosing land, attacking opponents, and jealousy. After a second-rate small family realizes that it has climbed into the Chen family, it can be arrogant and act wantonly? Over the years, many wealthy families have cared about the name of the Chen family and have chosen to be patient and give in, instead of having a direct conflict with the Leng family. However, this has only encouraged the Leng family's arrogance. Do you know that a few years ago, the Leng family even dared to claim that it was the first family among the top families? A second-rate family with only a 6th-grade war king and not even a 7th-grade war king dared to be so crazy? Who would do that? Do you have the courage to buy it? Do you know that just by saying this, you have offended all the wealthy families in Yinjing? If the sky is crazy, it will rain. If people are crazy, there will be disaster. What the Leng family is experiencing today is nothing but their own fault. After saying that, Chen Beiyuan ignored Leng Ruobing, who looked in disbelief and had a dull expression. He directly waved his hand and pulled back the corner of his clothes and walked forward without looking back. Leng Ruobing couldn't stand still and was taken down to the ground. There were red marks on her white knees and the palms of her hands. Her hair was messy and she was very embarrassed. The whole person seemed to have lost his soul, muttering to himself, "It's your own fault. It's your own fault." She once thought that Chen Beiyuan was behind everything to get revenge on herself. But in the end, it was retribution for the Leng family's wanton behavior over the years. Everything is to blame. Chapter 27, Part 2. She had been standing on the edge of the abyss. At this moment, she seemed to be pushed hard by the cruelty of reality and fell directly into it. Chen Beiyuan ignored Leng Ruobing, who was doubting his life behind him, and strode forward. Lin Xiao, who was in a state of incompetent rage, happened to be standing in front of him. In this regard, Chen Beiyuan didn't mean to get used to it and just slapped him. A good dog stays out of the way. Snapped. Chapter 28, Part 1. Snapped. Lin Xiao was knocked to the ground. The burning pain on his face instantly woke him up from his impotence and rage. He felt his head was buzzing and the left side of his face was swelling rapidly. The clear slap marks were deeply imprinted on his face like a branding iron. Puff. The strong smell of rust spread in the mouth, and the back molars were shattered into pieces, and they were spit out mixed with sticky blood. Lin Xiao was lying on the ground, breathing heavily, staring blankly at the broken teeth stained with blood on the ground. The severe pain on his face kept stimulating his nerves, making his dazed thoughts gradually clear up. Hiss. Lin Xiao never dreamed that Chen Beiyuan would be so arrogant and domineering. I just stood in front of him and got slapped in the face. My brain was buzzing, and even my back molars were exposed. Isn't this bullying? You. Lin Xiao's eyes became vicious, staring at Chen Beiyuan, who was walking away, and wanted to curse and fight back. But the reason inside still suppressed the anger. If he really takes action, he will be the one who suffers. What's more important is that at this moment, he has been ordered to suspend his studies by the school, and it is impossible for the school to provide him with shelter. In the end, after a short weighing of the pros and cons, Lin Xiao, the miracle doctor protagonist, made some decisions that the crooked Dragon King often made. Forbearance. Chen Beiyuan, today's shame will be repaid 100 times in the future. Lin Xiao once again burst into incompetent rage deep in his heart. The movement happening here naturally attracted the attention of many Donghua students. A pair of strange eyes were focused on Lin Xiao and Leng Ruobing at this moment, and some gossip began to appear. Lin Xiao only noticed Leng Ruobing's despair at this moment and couldn't help feeling happy. It has to be said that he still has love for Leng Ruobing in his heart. Although he had personally sent this woman to the bed of his enemy, this did not affect his love for Leng Ruobing. This is not contradictory. But now, Leng Ruobing was obviously at his weakest and most powerless, and needed him to rely on. Maybe he can still have a good and auspicious day tonight. Lin Xiao endured the severe pain on the swollen left side of his face and the mocking glances of the people around him, and slowly stood up and walked towards Leng Ruobing, who fell to the ground not far away and was lost. He stretched out his right hand and grabbed Leng Ruobing's wrist, trying to pull it up. He forced a smile on his face, trying to make his swollen pig-headed face look handsome. Ruobing, you didn't? Snapped. He also received a slap on the right side of his face. Don't think I don't know your dirty thoughts. Leng Ruobing lowered his head, his dark hair covering his face, and slowly retracted his hand, ignoring Lin Xiao, who was frozen in place, and walked out of the school in despair. Pfthahahaha. It made me laugh so hard. It's the first time I've ever seen someone rush to catch his mouth with his face. He acted like a pig just now. He knows what he wants to do. He really thinks other people are fools. This kind of brain is worthy of being an enemy of Mr. Chen. Do you know where he got his confidence before? Lin Xiao, who was frozen in place, had his face swollen on both sides, very symmetrical, like a freshly baked pig's head. The unabashed ridicule and sarcasm of the people around him still echoed in his ears. Lin Xiao looked at Leng Ruobing's retreating back and felt that his anger was soaring towards Tianling Gai, almost crushing all his back molars. Bitch, use your own good intentions to comfort you. You came up with a big mouth. At this moment, he was so angry that he wanted to run out of the school to argue with Leng Ruobing, but after hesitating again and again, he finally did not have the courage to step out of the school gate. Instead, he endured the frustration and ran towards the medical hospital. However, Lin Xiao did not notice it among the taunting crowd. At this moment, there was a pair of strange eyes staring at his figure, revealing a thoughtful light. I saw the Taoist figure quietly retreating towards the corner, took out his mobile phone and dialed a special number. After being connected on the other side, his tone became respectful. Young Master Lin. For a moment, I couldn't tell whether Lin Xiao was taking the Miracle Doctor script or the Dragon King script, but he was so tolerant. Chen Beiyuan smiled and shook his head. Obviously, he also had a panoramic view of the situation just now. In the original work, the protagonist, a miracle doctor who was extremely resourceful and good at forbearance, has almost collapsed after being suppressed one after another by him. But what does that have to do with him? After he has squeezed all the use value out of the protagonist, the miracle doctor, he will naturally chop off his head and play it as a ball. While thinking, Chen Beiyuan walked into the depths of the school, the most majestic building, and came to the office of the most mysterious president of Donghua University, who rarely appeared in front of students. Boom, boom, boom. Please come in. A deep and thick magnetic voice came from inside, carrying a majesty that had been in a high position for a long time and was not angry. Chen Beiyuan looked calm, opened the door, and walked in directly. In the spacious office, a middle-aged man with white temples, a Chinese character face, a stern smile, and a slightly serious look was sitting behind his desk, flipping through and signing some documents. This person is the mysterious principal of Donghua Academy, Jiang Bai. The surname Jiang is a very special surname in the Donghua Empire, because this is the surname that belongs to the imperial family. The Jiang Bai in front of him was not only the principal of Donghua Academy, but also a powerful 8th-grade emperor. He is also the younger brother of the emperor of Donghua Empire, an imperial prince. This is why Chen Beiyuan said that the imperial family was behind Donghua Academy. Principal Jiang, Chen Beiyuan said with some respect. For an 8th grade war emperor, the necessary respect is still required. Beiyuan, don't be restrained. Sit down for a while first. Jiang Bai raised his head. His tone was unexpectedly friendly, and he pointed to the sofa next to him, indicating that he would wait a moment while he finished what he was doing. Okay, Principal Jiang is busy first. Chen Beiyuan was not surprised and sat directly on the sofa generously. As the heir to the top family in the empire, Chen Beiyuan had naturally met Jiang Bai. 6 years ago, Chen Beiyuan was specially recruited into Donghua Academy, and it was Jiang Bai, the 8th grade war emperor, who personally came to talk to Mr. Chen. Otherwise, the Chen family had no intention of letting Chen Beiyuan enter Donghua University from the beginning. Naturally, there were some episodes at that time. For example, Jiang Bai said at the time that the imperial royal family intended to engage a princess to 12-year-old Chen Beiyuan to achieve a marriage. However, Mr. Chen did not agree at that time, but chose to marry the Donghua Bai family. Otherwise, Chen Beiyuan at this moment can almost be said to be a family member of the imperial family. Chapter 29, Part 1. Chen Beiyuan was not surprised that the imperial royal family wanted to marry the Chen family. As the leader of the imperial military, the Chen family of Donghua holds the biggest gun in their hands. If the imperial royal family has no ideas, then it's really evil. In fact, apart from the imperial royal family, who among the top aristocratic families at that time did not want to marry with the Chen family? Apart from anything else, with the talent that Chen Beiyuan showed at that time, an 8th grade war emperor will be indispensable in the future. The position of the head of the Donghua Chen family has also been reserved in advance. Once the marriage is successful, her daughter will basically become the mistress of the Chen family. Who wouldn't be tempted? However, Chen Beiyuan doesn't know why Mr. Chen did not agree to the marriage from the imperial royal family, but chose the one from the Bai family of Donghua. After all, the reason for this was not pointed out in detail even in the original work. If you want to know the truth, I'm afraid you have to ask the old man yourself. Of course, as the head of the Chen family, Chen Zhiqing may also know something. In contrast, it was his client who had a fiancée in a daze. By the way, my fiancée seems to be 8 years older than me. Is this an old cow eating young grass in disguise? Chen Beiyuan recalled the memories of childhood in his mind, and the corners of his mouth twitched. 6 years ago, he broke through the 4th grade general. At the age of 12, he had just finished his boring training. He was bored and walking around with a little black dog, but he happened to meet a pair of long legs. Looking up, I happened to see a fair-skinned, beautiful, long-legged elder sister who was full of royal style. The other party was also condescending at that time, carrying his own murder weapon, with a huge sense of oppression, looking at him carefully, with a faint smile on his face, as if he even licked his red lips. One is a 12-year-old young lady, and the other is a 20-year-old elder sister. Not only was there an 8-year age difference between the two, but Chen Beiyuan was also a lot shorter than the other person at that time, and everyone had to look up. That was the first meeting between the two parties. The big sister at that time smiled, reached out and touched his head, and gave him a lollipop. At that time, when the two met for the first time, Mr. Chen and Mr. Bai were still looking at each other quietly not far away, muttering in their mouths, not knowing what to say. However, at that time, Chen Beiyuan only wanted to take the little black dog for a walk, and he didn't think much about it. I vaguely remember that the lollipop at that time seemed quite sweet and delicious. I bought it with just a lollipop. Children are really easily satisfied. However, my fiancée seems to be one of the lucky heroines in this world, and she has some restraints on my destiny as a villain in terms of ability. Just when Chen Beiyuan lowered his eyes slightly and fell into thinking, Jiang Bai, who was sitting behind his desk, had almost finished processing all the files on hand and put the files aside. The subtle sound also brought Chen Beiyuan's thoughts back. Beiyuan, what are you thinking about? You are so lost in thought. It's nothing, Principal Jiang. I just thought of some cultivation matters. Facing Jiang Bai's cordial inquiry, Chen Beiyuan also responded with a smile. To be honest, since the establishment of Donghua Academy, I have seen a lot of prodigy monsters, but in terms of single-round potential, no one can compare to you, the 18-year-old 5th grade war master. Well, the emperor still wanted to by marrying Yunhua to you. You and I should have become a family. Jiang Bai sighed, with a trace of regret on his face. Thank you, Principal Jiang, and your majesty for your love and respect for Beiyuan. However, this matter was decided by the old man of the family himself, so Beiyuan can only obey it. Chen Beiyuan also sighed helplessly, looking like he couldn't help himself. He didn't believe that his old man would harm him. There must have been other reasons for not choosing to marry the imperial royal family back then. There is no need to step into the pit yourself. In the original work, the behemoth imperial royal family has always been invisible, hidden behind the scenes, sitting back and watching the storm, and rarely taking action. Even if he takes action, he only mediates the conflicts between the various forces, acts as a referee, and never favors anyone too much. The more so, the more unusual it appears. Seeing Chen Beiyuan move his old man out as soon as he opened his mouth, he looked like he would not let any oil or salt in, and no water would leak out. Zhang Bai also secretly cursed the little fox, and immediately put away some small thoughts. Mr. Chen is the white jade pillar that supports the sky of our Donghua Empire and holds the purple golden beam across the sea. He should also have his own considerations. Forget it, let's not mention this matter for now, let's get down to business first. Zhang Bai opened the cabinet, took out a rusty token engraved with a blood dragon totem, placed it in front of Chen Beiyuan, and said slowly, "This is the reward for this academy competition, the token that opens the mysterious secret realm. That secret realm is extremely special. It contains a dragon blood pool, made from a drop of the blood of the 8th-grade ferocious beast, the evil dragon emperor. However, after years of investigation by the Empire, it was found that the essence and blood that condensed the dragon blood pool was not simple, it should be a drop of natal dragon blood. The natal dragon blood is extremely important to the dragon race, and it may contain some of the inherited memories of the dragon race. Dragon race cannot force out the natural dragon blood until the moment of life and death. In this case, the 8th-grade ferocious beast, the bloody dragon emperor, must have died. Unfortunately, the Empire searched the entire secret realm but could not find the body of the bloody dragon emperor. Speaking of this, Zhang Bai also felt a little regretful. The price of the carcass of an 8th-grade ferocious beast can be imagined, especially a powerful beast with pure dragon race bloodline. With an existence of this level, ordinary 8th-grade war emperors would not dare to confront it head-on and could only avoid its sharp edges. Even if several 8th-grade war emperors join forces, they may not be able to hunt it down. The precious materials such as dragon scales, dragon horns, and dragon teeth on its body can probably be used to refine several 8th-grade magic weapons. You know, even some 8th-grade war emperors may not have 8th-grade magic weapons. Back then, when the imperial royal family discovered this mysterious secret realm, it could be said that they were overjoyed, like pie in the sky. Unfortunately, after years of searching and countless manpower and material resources spent, not to mention the remains and body of the bloody dragon emperor, not even a single dragon hair was found. Although the dragon blood pool is strange, it takes decades to accumulate before it can be used once. What makes people even more speechless is that after the dragon blood pool is opened, the energy contained in it flows away very quickly, as if the dragon blood pool is inherently defective. It can be said that this thing is now in the hands of the imperial royal family and is a tasteless existence. It is tasteless to eat, and it is a pity to discard it. Call it useless, it is still somewhat useful. At least it can strengthen the physical body. Call it useful, but its usefulness is limited. Before you can absorb much of the benefits, most of the energy is lost involuntarily. It is precisely because of this that the imperial royal family took it out as a prize in the academy competition. Anyway, this thing only has one last use right left. After using it, the entire secret realm will collapse. Hearing this, Chen Beiyuan's mind felt buzzing. These things were never mentioned in the original work. If Zhang Bai hadn't taken the initiative to mention it, he might not have known anything. Anyway, Beiyuan, after you enter, absorb the energy of the dragon blood pool as soon as possible. It will always be of great benefit to you. With a strong body, it will be a little less difficult to break through the 6th-grade war king. I understand, Principal Zhang. Beiyuan will keep your kindness in mind. Chen Beiyuan knew very well that the reason why Zhang Bai told him so much and so thoroughly was because he wanted to sell him a favor. Not everyone is qualified to let an 8th-grade war emperor take the initiative to sell favors. Chapter 29, Part 2. At least, Zhang Bai never told Son of Fortune Lin Xiao these things in the original work. Chapter 30, Part 1. When the difference in strength is too big, the other party can still be amiable and explain the reasons in detail to you, without any pretense of being a strong person. It can be said that it is already quite a favor, and even wants to sell you a favor. As for this favor, if you are not at a certain level, you are not qualified to accept it. Of course, if the strengths are equal, then this is not a favor, but a fear of offending others. You gave me such a tasteless thing, and you still want a favor? If you don't fall out, it all depends on your backstage toughness. At this moment, Chen Beiyuan is naturally the former. After thanking Principal Zhang again for his guidance, he directly activated the rusty token in his hand. Tear it apart. As a burst of space ripples appeared, Chen Beiyuan, holding the Blood Dragon token, was directly transported to the Blood Dragon secret realm. When he looked up, what he saw was a primitive forest that was hazy, dark, and terrifying, full of dead silence, and occasionally stirred up by strange cold winds. There seemed to be faint cracks in the bloody sky, which gradually expanded, as if it would collapse at any time. A strong smell of blood filled the air, along with a smell of rust and rot. Behind Chen Beiyuan, there is a scarlet blood pool as huge as a lake at this moment. It is surprisingly the dragon blood pool that has been mentioned many times and contains the blood of the 8th-grade ferocious beast, the Dragon Emperor's natal dragon. This is Secret Realm? It's just a small world. Chen Beiyuan ignored the dragon blood pool behind him, but instead looked at the surrounding environment with interest. The existence and origin of Secret Realm is difficult to verify at specific time. Maybe hundreds of years, maybe thousands of years, maybe tens of thousands of years. However, the only thing that can be verified at present is that before Secret Realm appeared, there were no ferocious beasts, no alien races, and no body refining system in this world. When Secret Realm suddenly came to this world one by one, in addition to bringing countless powerful beasts and alien races, they also brought the body refining system of human race. To this day, no one can decipher the origin of Secret Realm and the secret behind it. However, because Secret Realm mostly contains rich resources and hidden opportunities, the top forces in the human race regard Secret Realm as a mobile treasure house. Perhaps for ordinary people, the Secret Realm, full of unknown dangers, is hell, but for the strong, it is just nutrition to enhance their own heritage. Among those top forces, who doesn't have their own Secret Realm? Naturally, the Donghuachen family also has them. However, Chen Beiyuan has never entered. Before, he spent most of his time practicing in seclusion and meditating on the prison-suppressing demonic sutra. Even when he was pursuing Leng Ruobing, he still did not fall behind in his training progress. Otherwise, it would be impossible to become a 5th-grade warrior at the age of 18. Just when Chen Beiyuan was looking around with interest, the blood-colored lake behind him, which had been calm all this time, suddenly began to show signs of movement. Naturally, this subtle change cannot be hidden from Chen Beiyuan. When he turned around and looked around, he happened to see the scarlet blood water in the huge lake begin to change strangely. The blood pool that was supposed to be scarlet actually began to glow with golden light and gradually expanded and spread as if it came to life. The stench of blood that filled the air also began to change, as if it had a strange aroma. It makes people feel that the blood all over their body is beginning to feel restless. A terrifying dragon power and a huge pool of golden blood erupted, sweeping across the entire Secret Realm instantly. Vaguely, Chen Beiyuan seemed to hear a vast dragon roar that penetrated the sky and the earth. Dragon blood pool has begun. According to what Zhang Bai said, although the dragon blood pool is special, its effect is not as great as imagined. At most, it can strengthen the physical body and reduce some obstacles to break through the 6th-grade War King. But in the original work, Lin Shao got a lot of benefits from the dragon blood pool and realized the divine ability of a powerful beast. This means that the dragon blood pool in front of you may still hide some unknown secrets, and it is very likely that they will appear when this Secret Realm is opened for the last time. Although it is unclear whether Zhang Bai has any special means to check the specific situation of this Secret Realm, for the sake of safety, it is better to cover it with War Spirit. Chen Beiyuan raised his eyes and looked at the bloody sky. There seemed to be some unknowable, invisible, terrifying existence deep in his eyes that began to wake up and gradually came. Suddenly, the scarlet sky was gradually shrouded in pure darkness, and a huge twisted crack appeared from the sky, like a pair of eyes that had opened a slight gap. This scene is very similar to the vision of heaven and earth that occurred when Chen Beiyuan was born. At the same time, this is not even detected by the defying the heavens and changing fate system, and it belongs exclusively to Chen Beiyuan, the destined villain's top fighting spirit. Abyss. In 18 years, this is the first time that Chen Beiyuan has manifested his mysterious fighting spirit. However, for the sake of the next secret and possible opportunities, he could only choose to cover the entire Secret Realm, and at the moment when the entire Secret Realm was enveloped by the abyss, Zhang Bai, who was in the principal's office of Donghua University, suddenly raised his head and clearly felt that a trace of his spiritual imprint left in the Secret Realm had been cut off, with a look of surprise and curiosity on his face. How could a mere 5th-grade War Master have such ability? After pondering for a while, Zhang Bai shook his head and gave up some of his thoughts. With his cultivation level, he can naturally tear open the existence that covers the Secret Realm and find out what's going on. But that would definitely alarm Chen Beiyuan, who was bathing in the dragon's blood. At that time, it will be a naked feud. It's really not cost-effective to just sell a favor and then become an enemy. He is not afraid of a mere Chen Beiyuan. But the Donghuachen family behind it is not someone to be trifled with. In particular, the Chen family is famous for being protective of calves. That's all. Secret Realm. After Chen Beiyuan made all preparations, he took off his clothes, revealing his fair and strong skin. He stepped step by step towards the golden blood pool in front of him, and started to run the prison-suppressing magic sutra, absorbing the dragon tyrannically. The terrifying energy contained in the blood pool strengthens the physical body. In an instant, a terrifying pain like 1,000 cuts appeared in his body, and the skin on his body began to appear cracks under the bath of terrifying dragon blood. This is clearly the effect of bathing in dragon blood. At this moment, Chen Beiyuan could naturally feel that the energy contained in the dragon blood pool was being lost inexplicably. Obviously, what Zhang Bai said before was true. For this reason, Chen Beiyuan did not hesitate to operate the prison-suppressing demonic scripture to its peak, and the overbearing demonic energy crazily absorbed the violent energy. At the same time, the dragon blood Dao fruit that had been placed in the system space was also taken out, stuffed directly into the mouth, and swallowed together with the core. In an instant, Chen Beiyuan felt as if he had swallowed a ball of hot lava, with madness burning inside his body and melting his internal organs. He subconsciously wanted to scream, but was suppressed by his steely will. Soon, with the blessing of dragon blood Dao fruit, Chen Beiyuan felt that the speed of absorbing dragon blood instantly increased by more than 100 times. The physical body is also increasing at an unreasonable speed. The whole person also fell into a mysterious state. At this moment, Chen Beiyuan absorbed the dragon's blood much faster than the energy of the dragon's blood pool disappeared inexplicably. However, what Chen Beiyuan didn't know was that at the moment he took out the dragon blood Dao fruit, just now, there was a sudden movement in the blood soil deep under the dragon blood pool, as if something was exposed. That looks like a round egg. Chapter 31, Part 1. Boom, boom, boom. Chen Beiyuan's body was bathed in the golden dragon's blood. His body was absorbing the huge energy of the dragon's blood pool like a whale, and he was undergoing body-tempering blood transformation. His fair skin began to have a golden luster, and the blood in his body gradually became silky, threads of golden light. In an instant, the entire dragon blood pool began to form a huge vortex around him. A large amount of golden dragon blood was absorbed by invisible suction, covering it bit by bit, forming a huge golden dragon egg. Inside the golden dragon egg, a strange heartbeat began to appear. It was very weak at first, but gradually became louder and thicker, with a terrifying sense of oppression, as if some terrible creature was gestating. In an instant, the heartbeat with a strong sense of oppression resounded throughout the secret realm. At this moment, a round, strange egg, with strange veins in the blood soil below the dragon blood pool, suddenly glowed with red light, floating out of the blood soil little by little, towards the golden giant above. The egg is close. A slight dragon roar with joy appeared from the strange egg. Kyoto Nightclub, Supreme Private Room. Master Lin, I can confirm that Lin Xiao is definitely not a spy, secretly cultivated by other forces. Lin Xiao is from a proper civilian background. The reason why he was able to become a 4th-grade warrior and awaken a high-level fighting spirit at the age of 21 is that besides his own terrifying talent, his methods are also not weak. He has done a lot of things secretly and gained a lot of resources. Currently, there are at least several massacres involving family members that are more or less involved with him, but there is no substantial evidence. According to the calculations of the think tank, this person's cultivation talent is top-notch, not weaker than the core heirs of the top families. It's a pity that his background is too poor. Otherwise, he would have achieved better results. Sitting on the sofa, a sinister man with his arms around the girl next door and the innocent teacher was listening to the reports of his subordinates, enjoying royal treatment, and laughing heartily from time to time. But the subordinates standing aside looked as if they were not surprised. After the report, they lowered their heads and did not dare to take another look. Obviously, this sinister man is young Master Lin. Being able to be in a Kyoto nightclub that caters to the rich and powerful, and also being in the Supreme Private Room, the identity of young Master Lin and the power behind him are naturally obvious. Donghua Lin family, one of the top families in the empire. There is a terrifying existence that suppresses luck with the 8th-grade war emperor. You have a bad background, so you can be used by me. Otherwise, how can I control people? I was originally thinking about how to treat the corporal with courtesy, but now it's much easier. The world's Lin family belongs to this family. Let's find out if the mud-legged guy is a branch of that Lin family. Donghua University, Medical Center. An old man who has lost both arms is lying on the hospital bed and sleeping soundly. The surrounding medical instruments are recording his physical condition all the time to ensure his safety. Don't look at it. Although Mr. Cheong has been under house arrest in the ward these days, and has been temporarily relieved of his high-level positions and under investigation, most of the time, he is still very nourished and not only enjoys top-notch medical treatment. People from the investigation team came here occasionally these days, and it was just a simple routine. After asking a few questions, they left in a hurry, without any intention of embarrassment. Everyone is waiting. No one wants to offend someone easily. Suddenly, old Cheong, who was in a deep sleep, slowly opened his eyes, and immediately saw Lin Xiao sitting beside him, his face swollen like a pig's head, and there were clear palm prints of different sizes on the left and right sides. Looking at the miserable appearance of his godson, Mr. Cheong was not angry or excited. He just sighed secretly, obviously. He also understood that without his own support, Lin Xiao's situation would be very difficult. Daddy, you wake up. When Lin Xiao saw his godfather wake up, A hint of joy flashed across his pig-headed face. He quickly helped him up and fed him some water, looking like a filial son. Seeing that Lin Xiao has not changed from the beginning to the end, he still has the same filial piety towards him. A trace of determination finally flashed in Qiong Lao's eyes, and he was obviously determined. Shower, my godfather has one last trump card, which can help you with dragon transformation. Once successful, you can fly into the abyss and escape from your current predicament. However, this opportunity is extremely dangerous and the chance of success is very slim. If you don't do it right, you will definitely die. Are you willing to try it? Godfather, Xiao Er is willing. Godfather was persecuted by Chen Beiyuan, a despicable and shameless villain. Now he has reached the point where he is today. Not only did he lose his arms, he is also trapped here. Without dragon transformation, Xiao Er would never be able to survive in this life. There is no way to catch up with him, defeat this despicable villain, and avenge his godfather. If dragon transformation fails, Lin Xiao would rather die. Lin Xiao showed an expression of surprise on his face, and immediately answered seriously. Hey, you have this heart. My godfather understands it. He doesn't expect you to go to Chen Beiyuan for revenge. The Donghua Chen family is not as simple as you think. I only hope that you can have defying the heavens and changing fate. A chance to get out of this current predicament would be great, and living well is better than anything else. Qiong Lao sighed and looked a little decadent. It was obvious that he was completely disabled after his spine was broken by Chen Beiyuan. I listened to my godfather. Don't worry, godfather. In the future shower will definitely find you some spiritual creatures from heaven and earth that can be reborn after severed limbs, so that you can always return to your former peak. Lin Xiao solemnly promised. It's good if you have this heart. With the support of Lin Xiao, Qiong Lao, who was full of relief, slowly stood up and walked out of the ward. At the door of the ward, two investigators on guard saw Mr. Qiong and Lin Xiao preparing to go out and quickly stopped them. An older investigator said with a troubled face, Mr. Qiong, don't make things difficult for us. Vice Principal Liu has told us that you can only stay in the ward. I want to see the principal. Mr. Qiong, who was being supported, didn't even raise his eyelids, as if he didn't take the two of them seriously, and his tone was very tough. At this moment, he seemed to be the senior member of the academy again. Upon hearing these words, the expressions of the two investigators changed, and they quickly stepped aside and retreated to their original positions. They looked at their noses with their eyes, their noses with their hearts, and pretended they saw nothing. Let Lin Xiao help Mr. Qiong to leave and walk towards the principal's office. The two of them knew very well that although Mr. Qiong was a prisoner at the moment, as long as he was willing to use that special relationship, he could resume his status as a high-ranking person in the academy at any time. Some things cannot be taken at face value. Until the last moment, it is better to try not to offend anyone. Otherwise, it will be easy to deal with it afterwards. However, at this moment, the two of them, as well as Mr. Qiong who was being supported, did not notice the strange smile on Lin Zhao's swollen, pig-headed face. That weird smile was fleeting, appearing and disappearing just as quickly, as if it had never happened before. Chapter 32, Part 1. Lin Xiao has been aware of one thing since he was a child. Any little person may burst out with terrifying energy at a critical moment. In the beginning, the reason why he recognized Mr. Qiong as his godfather was because of his special relationship. How can a weird old man who seems to have only a 6th grade War King's cultivation be able to hold an important position in Donghua University, and even Vice Principal Liu and other senior officials have to be polite to him? Isn't it because when this weird old man was young, he risked his life to block the gun of Donghua Principal Jiang Bai, and he became permanently disabled and his career was cut off? Not to mention anything else, this kindness alone is enough for Qiong to be worry-free for the rest of his life. Even though he was under investigation at this moment, Vice President Liu and other senior leaders of the school did not think that something would happen to Mr. Qiong, and they still did not do anything about it. However, at this moment, under Lin Zhao's deliberate guidance, Mr. Qiong decided to use his greatest talisman. Boom, boom, boom. After many years, Mr. Qiong knocked on Jiang Bai's office again. Principal's office. After Chen Beiyuan, 2 more uninvited guests arrived. This undoubtedly made Jiang Bai, who was at work, feel a little unhappy. If it weren't for the visitor's special status, he would have kicked him out long ago. Originally, he thought that Kaiyang Baking came to him for help and wanted to solve the university corruption case that was currently making a fuss. As a result, he guessed wrong. Baizong, have you thought clearly? Jiang Bai frowned slightly, put down the document in his hand, looked seriously at the old Qiong who had lost both arms, was as skinny as a stick, and was wearing a large patient gown. As for Lin Xiao, who was standing respectfully and restrainedly beside him, he was directly ignored. If Lin Xiao hadn't helped Qiong Baizong in, it would have been difficult for him to step into his office. Principal, I've thought about it clearly. I haven't opened my mouth to you once in these years. I just don't want to trouble you. But today, for this kid, I still have a shameless face to beg you. I know that there is a special large-scale secret realm in the hands of the imperial royal family. There is a poisonous dragon pond, formed by the poisonous sacs of the 8th-grade beast, demon poisonous dragon. After its death, my incompetent son, himself the black dragon fighting spirit, has reached the critical moment of dragon transformation, and it is just missing the most important opportunity. I hope the principal can be merciful and give him a chance to try dragon transformation. Qiong Laoqiang stood up straight, with an almost pleading look on his old face. This was what he said was a dragon transformation opportunity that could be found for Lin Xiao. No one knew that when he was young, he had been Jiang Baiyi's personal guard. Because he followed Jiang Baiyi, he learned many secrets of the royal family. Among them, it naturally includes the poisonous dragon pond that was transformed from the poisonous sac of the 8th-grade ferocious beast, the poisonous dragon, after its death. As a ferocious dragon beast, the demonic poison dragon also has a powerful dragon race bloodline, which has a great transformation effect on Lin Xiao's black dragon fighting spirit. It can also be the key to its dragon transformation. However, due to the terrifying poisonous nature of poisonous dragon pond, a 7th-grade war emperor of the flood dragon battle spirit had previously tried to enter in an attempt to transform the battle soul. However, he was infected by the terrifying dragon poison and was not treated in time, and eventually died. This is the real reason why Mr. Qiong said that this dragon transformation is doomed to a narrow escape. This is almost a gamble with your life on the chance of success. At this moment, Lin Xiao, who was standing aside, was extremely nervous deep inside, and his heart was beating violently. Because at this moment, he could clearly feel the eyes of the mysterious Donghua principal falling on him, facing the gaze of an 8th-grade war emperor who stood at the pinnacle of the world. Even though he possessed the inheritance of ancient power, he was extremely nervous at this moment. You can only soothe your emotions and calm yourself down by visualizing the Extreme Profundities Dragon Transformation Sutra in your mind. At this moment, Jiang Baiyi is no longer as amiable as he was to Chen Beiyuan before, showing the majesty of a strong man. Soon, Jiang Baiyi's intensely oppressive scrutiny looked away from him. Lin Xiao also secretly breathed a sigh of relief, fearing that some of his little thoughts would be seen through by the 8th-grade war emperor. Immediately, Jiang Baiyi fell into silence and did not respond directly, seeming to be considering whether to agree. After all, this matter involves a large secret realm belonging to the imperial royal family. It is indeed inappropriate to let an outsider enter rashly. For a moment, the entire office fell into deathly silence. In fact, in Lin Zhao's heart, the dragon blood pool of the 8th-grade ferocious beast, Blood Evil Dragon Emperor, is his first choice for dragon transformation. After all, that was a powerful being with pure dragon race bloodline, almost standing at the top among his peers. The effect of its dragon blood pool on him is definitely not small. Once the dragon transformation is successful, his battle soul will most likely become a top mutant dragon soul similar to the Blood Evil Dragon Emperor. In comparison, the poisonous dragon pond of the demonic poison dragon is undoubtedly much inferior, and it is also quite dangerous. If it weren't for the fact that he had the inheritance of the wordless medical sutra and a lot of confidence, and if there was really no other choice, he wouldn't have chosen this. But now, even this close choice depends on Jiang Baiyi's wishes. Baizong, this is the first time you have asked me for help in so many years. I have no reason to refuse. However, Baizong, you have to think clearly. Some things are gone after they are used. You have to bear some of the things before. It's still too late for you to regret it now. I'll just pretend that you didn't say what you just said. Jiang Baiyi pondered for a while, looking at the old pleading face of Mr. Qiong in front of him, but in the end he did not refuse directly. And what he meant was naturally very straightforward. He can agree to the poison dragon Yuten matter. However, all the favor was wiped out. However, the previous events also required Qian Beiyakang to resist. As Chen Beiyuan said, there is no endless kindness in this world. Moreover, it is still under the situation that the gap in status between each other is too large. In this case, Mr. Qiong only had one chance to speak. As long as you change your words and request now, all the previous matters can be wiped out, and you will still be a senior member of Donghua Academy. All publicity and pressure will evaporate. As the Prince of the Empire and the Principal of Donghua Academy, Jiang Baiyi naturally has this ability. In fact, just one word from him was enough. This is the charm of power. And Xiong Lao naturally heard the meaning. Is he really going to use his great favor to give Lin Xiao an illusory opportunity? Or is it possible to return to a high position and have a worry-free life? Although he had already made a decision in his heart at this time, Mr. Qiong was obviously shaken. But looking at Lin Zhao's expectant eyes next to him, this elderly man finally made up his mind. Among the people he has met in his life, Lin Zhao's talent is second only to Chen Beiyuan, who also has the qualifications of a great emperor. As long as dragon transformation is successful, you can soar into the sky. By then, his godfather may also benefit from it. This is undoubtedly a big gamble. But Kaiyang Baking still took the gamble. Principal, I am old and the future belongs to young people. I only hope you can give Lin Xiao a chance. Soon, Lin Xiao helped Mr. Cheong leave the principal's office and return to the medical hospital. At this moment, in Lin Xiao's hand, there was also a special token engraved with the poison dragon pattern. Astonishingly, it is the token to enter Poisonous Dragon Pond. Lin Xiao tightly clutched the token in his hand, unable to contain his excitement deep in his heart. Success. It really worked. He actually got a chance for himself a dragon transformation. Chapter 32, Part 2. Even Chen Beiyuan never expected that Lin Xiao would be able to obtain a new dragon transformation by accident after he took away the dragon blood pool of the Bloody Dragon Emperor and cut off the chance of dragon transformation. Chance. It can only be said that the gear of destiny belonging to Lin Xiao, the son of fortune, still did not stop turning even if it was interrupted midway. Chen Beiyuan, after I succeed in dragon transformation, the grievances between you and me will have to be settled sooner or later. Time flies, in the blink of an eye. Another 3 days have passed. Blood Dragon's secret realm. Boom, boom, boom. After 3 days and 3 nights, the dragon's blood that originally exuded bright golden light gradually turned dull in the golden dragon's blood pool as big as a lake. Obviously, the terrifying energy contained in it has been almost absorbed. At this moment, the terrifying heartbeat that echoed throughout the secret realm inside the golden dome, suspended in the center, also became slow and low, and seemed to have reached its final conclusion. At the same time, a large number of cracks appeared in the entire secret realm space. It was obvious that it was on the verge of collapse. Click, click. Cracks began to appear in the golden dome, as if the life contained inside was about to break out of the shell. Bang! Perhaps because he disliked the golden eggshell breaking too slowly, a violent impact suddenly came from inside. A fist as white as jade directly broke the eggshell, and the perfect muscle lines were instantly exposed. Under the seemingly white muscles, there was terrifying power like a ferocious beast. Roar! A vast dragon roar suddenly appeared from the broken gap of the golden dome, instantly resounding throughout the secret realm space. In an instant, all the creatures in the entire secret realm felt a terrifying coercion coming from the depths of their bloodline, and were so frightened that they fell to their knees on the ground, trembling. Some weak, ferocious beasts were frightened to death on the spot by this terrifying pressure. Boom! A naked figure burst out of its shell, turned into a stream of light, and flew towards the sky. Use the power of the physical body to fly in the air. This is a special ability that only the 6th grade Battle King can possess. Breaking through the 6th grade War King, the physical body will be highly integrated with one's own fighting spirit, gaining the opportunity to strengthen the physical body, making up for physical deficiencies, and improving one's body to a level comparable to that of a divine weapon. At the same time, it will also have the ability to step on the void and control the air. The ability to do it. The war cultivation system of the Donghua Empire is mainly based on war spirits. Most cultivators' physical bodies are not considered strong without the blessing of fighting energy. After all, the human race's body is not as talented as the ferocious beasts and aliens. In wars, it is not uncommon for some cultivators to be killed by thermal weapons due to excessive consumption of their own fighting energy, resulting in the inability to maintain body protection. However, after the cultivator breaks through the 6th grade War King, his physical body and war soul are integrated at a high density and are tempered in all aspects, reaching a level comparable to a magic weapon. At this level, even without using the blessing of fighting energy, the 6th grade War King can still resist most hot weapon damage with his physical body and even fight head-on with ferocious beasts. It can be said that the realm of 6th grade War King almost makes up for the cultivator's own physical weakness and leads to a more perfect evolution. However, in terms of cultivation aura, Chen Beiyuan at this moment is still only the 5th grade War Commander, not the 6th grade War King. Obviously, he possesses the special ability of the 6th grade Battle King in advance. Bang! The figure soaring into the sky still did not stop when it was 1,000 meters high in the sky. Instead, its speed increased a bit, becoming faster, and it seemed that it was going to reach the sky. We have guests at home, so tonight's update is a little late. I'm really sorry. In order to express the author's apology, this chapter has more than 1,000 words than usual, nearly 2 chapters of content. Dear readers, the verification period of this book will begin tomorrow. If possible, please do not support the book. Please support me. Chapter 33, Part 1. Boom. The figure charging toward the sky at high speeds rose higher and higher, and its body was gradually surrounded by terrifying heat. It actually began to burn with hot flames, like a shooting star. However, Chen Beiyuan remained oblivious and continued to move quickly as if he was not affected at all. At the same time, the terrifying atmospheric pressure that can easily crush a 13-meter long, 4.5-meter wide, and 189-ton rat tank into a ball of scrap metal is even more devastating. His physical body has no effect at all, but has the effect of thousands of tempers. As the 36,800 pores on the body exhale and inhale, a wave of white mist suddenly rises, extracting enough oxygen from the thin oxygen to maintain the body's needs. Soon, after many obstacles, the fast-charging flaming meteor finally stopped. Bang! Above the sky, a tall, naked figure stands majestically in the abyss. You can reach out and touch the cracks in the secret realm that are on the verge of being broken. Chen Beiyuan slowly opened his closed eyes, and a golden light suddenly shot out from his eyes. The terrifying coercion originating from the depths of his bloodline spread out wantonly, spreading to the entire secret realm. Host: Chen Beiyuan, age 18, cultivation, War Master Peak, 5th grade, exercise, prison suppressing demonic sutra, 8th level, wordless medical sutra, the only one, combat skills, forbidden demon destroying flame palm, forbidden demon destroying hell fist, forbidden demon destroying blood slash, prison suppressing shackles, divine ability, blood dragon transformation, vicious beast divine ability, fighting spirit, fate, destiny villain, the dragon blood pool, condensed with the blood dragon emperor's natal dragon blood is indeed extraordinary. Coupled with the assistance of dragon blood Dao fruit, my physical body at the moment is probably comparable to the 6th grade divine weapon. It is stronger than before, more than 100 times. Even if an ordinary 6th grade war king's physical body is tempered, it can only be comparable to a 2nd or 3rd grade magic weapon at most. There are very few who can improve their physical body to above a 3rd grade magic weapon. At this moment, without using my demonic energy, combat skills, or fighting spirit, I can compete with the physically powerful 6th grade beast simply by relying on my physical body. If I had been like this during the competition in the academy before, physically, if old dog Qiong dares to punch me with his fleshy palms, I'm afraid he will be beaten into minced meat. Chen Beiyuan could clearly feel the terror of his own body at this moment. The skin and flesh that seemed as white as jade could easily withstand the claws of the vicious beast and tear it into pieces alive. At this moment, he could almost be regarded as a terrifying beast in human skin. Most of the 6th grade war kings cannot compare to him in terms of physical strength. Even among those 6th grade war kings who specialize in flesh refining, there are very few who can compete with him in terms of physical fitness. Improving the physical body is not as simple as practicing cultivation. It not only requires a constant supply of terrifying resources, but also physical talent. Because Chen Beiyuan has the support of the top family behind him, he has used various kinds of spirit medicine body tempering since he was a child. When he was the 5th grade war commander, his physical body was comparable to the 3rd grade divine weapon and not weaker than the average 6th grade war commander. In addition, this time the 8th grade ferocious beast blood dragon emperor's dragon blood pool enhancement, coupled with the system-rewarded dragon blood Dao fruit assistance, has forcibly upgraded the physical body to a level comparable to that of the 6th grade god. The situation of soldiers. In addition, I also obtained the divine ability of blood dragon transformation. Once used, the dragon race bloodline in the body can be temporarily activated, and the power and defense blessing of the blood dragon can be obtained. I am afraid that it can make people. My physical body is as strong as a 7th grade magic weapon. Chen Beiyuan began to perform blood dragon transformation, and the golden blood in his body began to boil and heat up, as hot as magma. Accompanied by a crackling, stretch and collision of muscles and bones, the already tall body actually grew a bit taller. Scarlet dragon scales gradually appeared on the naked and strong body, covering the important parts, and glowed with an evil red light. Faint dragon scale lines also appeared on his face, and a pair of sharp, blood-colored dragon horns sprouted from his head, giving him an evil sense of beauty and majesty. At this moment, Chen Beiyuan felt as if he had transformed into a terrifying blood dragon flying between heaven and earth, and his every move could stir up the storm. Boom! Punch out! The fist peak covered with scarlet dragon scales unexpectedly broke through the void, breaking a small piece of the secret realm crack in front of him, revealing a terrifying scene like a black hole behind it. The entire secret realm space was also shaken, and the collapse speed accelerated instantly. What a terrifying power! With such power, even if the 7th grade war king dares to let me get close to him easily, I'm afraid he will be directly beaten to death and die miserably. The blood dragon is indeed a mutant species of the dragon race, and it is also unique in terms of physical fitness. Nowadays, the strength of my physical body has surpassed my cultivation level and has become my biggest reliance now. In comparison, bathing in the dragon's blood this time, breaking through a small realm, and reaching the peak of war commander seems a bit insignificant. Chen Beiyuan's eyes flickered. He raised his hands, looked at the scarlet dragon scales covering the fist peaks, and seemed to be feeling a little emotional. His sighing expression quickly darkened, and he frowned slightly. However, the more powerful the power, the greater the consumption. It has only been less than a minute, but it actually feels a bit strenuous. Yes, normally speaking, only the 7th grade War Emperor can truly master the power of divine ability. At this moment, I am taking a trick. If my physical body hadn't been comparable to a 6th grade divine weapon, I would have been drained of energy and blood within less than a second of using Blood Dragon Transformation. As the Blood Dragon Transformation was lifted, the scarlet dragon scales covering his body burst open and turned into traces of blood mist, returning to the body again. The terrifying power that was originally enough to travel around the world and tear apart the void dissipated without a trace, and a feeling of emptiness and powerlessness instantly emerged. Chen Beiyuan almost couldn't maintain his body shape and fell directly from an altitude of thousands of miles. It wasn't until he swallowed several demon heart pills in succession that he barely got rid of the feeling of weakness. Currently, Blood Dragon Transformation can only be used as a final trump card. At the critical moment, if it is used properly, the 7th grade War Emperor will also die. The 7th grade War Emperor is also in existence with high-level combat power. If placed in some small countries, he can almost become a guardian god and enjoy the worship of a country. Chen Beiyuan, who had returned to the ground again, couldn't help but sigh. He has benefited a lot from this trip to Secret Realm. Not only has his cultivation reached the peak of War Master, but his physical body has also been upgraded to a level comparable to a 6th grade divine weapon. More importantly, he has understood the divine ability of the beast Blood Dragon Transformation in advance. Is the strength more than 10 times stronger than before? As expected, seizing the opportunity that belongs to Son of Fortune is the fastest way to rise. If he had been ready on duty, he didn't know how long it would have taken him to reach this point. Just when Chen Beiyuan stood in the rancid dragon blood pond and sighed, his face was stunned and he blinked in disbelief. What's the situation? He seemed to have seen a round bloody strange egg floating around in the dragon blood pool. Chapter 34, Part 1. Chen Beiyuan picked up the strange egg floating in the dragon's blood pool, feeling the rough skin texture and the slightly beating case covered with strange blood vessel lines, and his expression instantly became weird. He could clearly sense the vitality contained in this strange egg and the inexplicable sense of intimacy it conveyed. This is the dragon egg of the 8th grade beast, Blood Evil Dragon Emperor? A ridiculous idea suddenly appeared in Chen Beiyuan's mind. It's no wonder that Chen Beiyuan has this idea. After all, the dragon blood pool is the blood of the natal dragon of the Blood Evil Dragon Emperor. And the only thing that can be tightly hidden inside is the dragon egg of the Blood Evil Dragon Emperor. Right, it's the hidden dragon egg. Chen Beiyuan can guarantee that if the imperial royal family knew about the existence of dragon egg, they would have taken it away long ago. The reason why it has not been found before is probably because the dragon egg was deliberately hidden. How valuable is a dragon egg with pure dragon race bloodline? This can almost be said to be a future 8th-grade beast. Not to mention, it is still the mutant variety, blood dragon, in dragon race. Once it grows up, it will also be a top-notch existence among the ferocious beasts at the same level. Even the ordinary 8th-grade War Emperor has to avoid its edge. As long as you hatch it and set up a master-servant contract, you can almost say that you have reserved a top animal pet. The value of this dragon egg is enough to make the top forces go crazy for it. Even the imperial family cannot turn a blind eye. Thankfully, I set up the blocking method in advance, otherwise, I would be the one in trouble. It's not that my life is in danger. Zhang Bai doesn't have the guts to kill me, but this dragon egg will most likely not be saved. Chen Beiyuan looked at the abyss, covering the entire secret realm space, and secretly rejoiced. My momentary caution bought me a huge opportunity. Although Zhang Bai had acted like an amiable elder to him before, that was just because they didn't have much entangled interests. If the other party knew about the existence of dragon egg, a falling out would be inevitable. It was impossible for the imperial family to watch him take away the dragon egg, suspected of being the bloody dragon emperor. In the face of interests, all rules are nonsense. A 5th-grade war master is not qualified to negotiate with the imperial royal family. Only the 8th-grade war emperor is barely qualified. A genius who has not yet grown up is just a genius after all. In this way, the root cause of the rapid loss of energy in the dragon blood pool has been found. It was intercepted by this dragon egg. No, it cannot be said to be intercepted. In essence, it is its thing. In contrast, those who enter Secret Realm are outsiders. But in the original work, this dragon egg never appeared. But why did it appear when I came here? Is there some special fate in it? Chen Beiyuan stroked the dragon egg in his hand, his eyes dim as he recalled all the strange things after entering the Secret Realm. He suddenly made a move and instantly understood the situation. Dragon Blood Dao Fruit. The system reward, Dragon Blood Dao Fruit, is ostensibly the supreme holy medicine used by practitioners for body refining. But in fact, it was a bloodline treasure that was watered and conceived by the ancient dragon race with its own essence and blood, and was specially used to assist the growth of bloodline descendants. This dragon egg most likely sensed the aura of dragon blood Dao fruit and chose to take the lead. In the original work, Lin Shao, the son of fortune, did not have a blood treasure like dragon blood Dao fruit, so naturally he did not lead out dragon egg. In the end, after the collapse of Secret Realm, this dragon egg was naturally lost in the void, and its whereabouts are unknown. It seems that you are indeed destined to me. When you meet me, you are saved. Chen Beiyuan held the dragon egg and said with emotion. Originally, he was thinking of asking his family to help find Ichigo's pet beast. But now it seems that there is no pet beast that can compare with the future 8th grade beast, Blood Evil Dragon Emperor. It would be a long night and many dreams, so Chen Beiyuan was ready to make a blood oath to Dragon Egg first, recognize the owner in advance, and ensure his own best interests. As long as you recognize the Lord, even if others want to rob you, it will be useless. As the master, he can make the soul of a pet beast collapse with just a thought. And once he dies, the pet beast will also perish. However, if the pet beast dies, his soul will be severely damaged. Compared with the negligible price, the benefits gained are obviously more abundant. As the heir to a top aristocratic family, Chen Beiyuan naturally received a comprehensive education since childhood, which naturally included blood oaths similar to the master-servant contract. I saw that Chen Beiyuan bit his fingertips, forced out the blood, and began to carve mysterious talismans on the dragon egg, making a blood oath of master-servant contract. However, as the ceremony ended, Chen Beiyuan did not perceive the soul connection with the dragon egg. Failed. How can it be? Chen Beiyuan frowned. Everything just went smoothly. Why did it fail? Try again. I tried several times in a row, but still failed one after another, without any effect. Chen Beiyuan's expression also turned ugly, his eyes fixed on the half-meter-high dragon egg in his hand. Unless someone has set up a blood oath in advance, otherwise, it is impossible for me to fail all the time. But how is this possible? Who would place the dragon egg here after setting up a blood oath again? Aren't you afraid of being stolen? Wait, maybe this is not the dragon egg of the Bloody Dragon Emperor at all. Rather, it is the true form of the Bloody Dragon Emperor. Chen Beiyuan's pupils shrank and turned into needle shapes, and he understood the truth instantly. Blood Evil Dragon Emperor is essentially a variant of dragon race, and is essentially different from other dragon races. It not only has a powerful physical body and terrifying resilience, but also has a very special talent. That's rebirth. According to legend, after the Blood Evil Dragon Emperor suffered irreparable damage, he would choose to degenerate from the mature stage to the youth stage, to the juvenile stage, until he turned into a new dragon egg. After rebirth, the Bloody Dragon Emperor is almost equivalent to a new individual with no previous memory. Only after growing back to the 8th grade ferocious beast and returning to its peak can all the memories before rebirth be awakened. The Bloody Dragon Emperor, who has returned to his peak, will not only recover from his previously incurable injuries, but his combat power will also become stronger. This talent ability can almost be said to be a bug, equivalent to having an extra life. However, this talent is also extremely uncertain. If a bad person dies on the way to rebirth, it will naturally be over. No wonder the imperial royal family has not found the body of the Bloody Dragon Emperor in these years, but only found the dragon blood pool, because it has already been reborn as a dragon egg, and has prepared a dragon blood pool in advance to nourish itself and facilitate its growth. At this moment, Chen Beiyuan was already 10th level sure that the dragon egg in his hand was the 8th grade ferocious beast, the Bloody Dragon Emperor. Chapter 35, Part 1. In Dragon Race, the Bloody Dragon Emperor is definitely an anomaly, because it is not a normal dragon race. It is a special product born from the combination of two powerful evil dragon races, Blood Dragon and Evil Dragon. With the fusion of the two evil dragon race bloodlines, the character of the Blood Evil Dragon Emperor is naturally conceivable, and he is definitely a more ferocious and violent existence. This guy is equivalent to the alien version of Long Outyan. He wants to quarrel with anyone he sees, he wants to mess with anyone he sees displeased, and when he is bored, he wants to kill a few people to add to the fun. Even within the dragon race, most of the dragon race have a repulsive and disgusting mentality towards the existence of the Bloody Dragon Emperor. The reason why the previous blood oaths failed in succession has naturally been found. In essence, the dragon egg in Chen Beiyuan's hand is the rebirth of the 8th grade ferocious beast, the Bloody Dragon Emperor. Although it is very weak at the moment and has not hatched, its soul is a real emperor level. In this case, Chen Beiyuan is just a 5th grade war master, and it is impossible to sign the blood oath of master-servant contract. Even if the 8th grade war emperor takes action personally, the possibility of signing a blood oath is extremely slim. After all, The combat power of the Bloody Dragon Emperor was extremely strong during his lifetime, and the strength of his dragon soul was much higher than that of the ordinary 8th Grade War Emperor. In addition, the Bloody Dragon Emperor must have prepared some countermeasures deep in his soul before his rebirth to avoid being enslaved by others. When the time comes, everything will be a wedding dress for others. A pure blood dragon race that can grow into an 8th grade ferocious beast is not as simple as imagined. Now, what was originally a huge opportunity has now become a hot potato. Without setting up a blood oath, no matter how good the dragon egg in Chen Beiyuan's hands is, when it returns to its peak and regains its memory, it will turn into the ferocious and violent, blood-evil Dragon Emperor. At that time, I'm afraid there will be a classic drama of the dragon devours the Lord. What do you think I should do to you? Chen Beiyuan picked up the dragon egg in his hand and looked at the watch case covered with strange bloodlines with faint eyes. It seemed that he could see the dragon fetus being gestated inside through the eggshell. A slight heartbeat was transmitted from the inside of the eggshell to his hand. At the same time, there is an inexplicable sense of intimacy. Obviously, this dragon egg has a natural affection for Chen Beiyuan, who bathed in the dragon blood pool, took the dragon blood Dao fruit, and realized the ferocious beast divine ability. In fact, they subconsciously regarded them as the same kind and kin. In this case, even without setting up a blood oath, Chen Beiyuan used family affection to drive the bloodthirsty Dragon Emperor for his own use. The Bloody Dragon Emperor is reborn. As long as he has enough resources, his strength and realm will improve very quickly, and he can almost form combat power as quickly as possible, and even return to the position of Dragon Emperor. However, once his cultivation reaches a high level, this guy may become uncontrollable. If it were anyone else, they would probably be hesitant at this moment and not know what decision to make. But for Chen Beiyuan, the answer was already determined from the beginning. How could I spit out something that was in my hand? As a destined villain, it would be really ridiculous if he couldn't even suppress a bloody dragon emperor. Secret Realm. The huge green poisonous pool kept rising poisonous bubbles, filled with terrifying poisonous gas. Even if the 7th Grade War Emperor faced such terrifying poisonous gas and accidentally spread it into his body, he would die without a burial place. Deep in the poison pond, a large number of rotten corpses and bones of ferocious beasts were piled up, including many corpses of 6th, 7th grade ferocious beasts. This is a restricted area for the living and a paradise for the dead. At this moment, a strange roar like a dragon's roar appeared from the depths of the poisonous pool, carrying a creeping and terrifying pressure. The entire poisonous pool boiled instantly, and the corpses of countless ferocious beasts began to sink little by little, as if the terrifying existence hidden below was eating silently. An inexplicable depression and fear began to spread throughout Poisonous Dragon Pond. Boom! A huge figure poked its head out of the green poisonous pool. Was it a huge dragon head? But this huge, dark green dragon head is not as majestic as in the mythical legend. Instead, it carries a terrifying terror. The dragon's head, which should have been covered with dragon scales, now had a lot of traces of decay. Dark green liquid continued to gush out from the rotten flesh and flowed little by little on the body's surface. A pair of huge dragon eyes glowed with a green luster, with a trace of undisguised ferocity. Along with the huge sound, the huge dragon body and dragon claws poured out from the depths of the poison pond, causing quite a commotion, overturning the entire deep poison pond, and terrifying venom splashing everywhere. Roar! This terrifying poisonous dragon, covered in rot and filled with green venom, roared loudly, as if announcing its birth to the world. The soul pressure of a top fighting spirit instantly filled the entire secret realm space. On the huge dragon head, sitting cross-legged, was a naked figure with green light all over his body. It was none other than Son of Fortune Lin Xiao. He actually succeeded in dragon transformation. He really promoted his high-level fighting spirit, Black Flood Dragon, to a top-notch fighting spirit. Cunning Poisonous Dragon, Dark Poison Dragon, is a variant of Dark Poison Dragon, with more terrifying poisonous nature and extremely cruel nature. It is an extremely powerful evil dragon. And at the moment when the weird poison dragon was born, the aura on Lin Xiao's body began to become mysterious and unpredictable, and it was faintly fused with the terrifying poison dragon beneath him, and his cultivation also skyrocketed crazily at this moment, directly from the peak level of 4th Grade War Commander to the intermediate level of 5th Grade War Commander. Extreme Profundity's Dragon Transformation Sutra finally succeeded in cultivation. The 9th grade skills are really mysterious. Lin Xiao, who was sitting cross-legged on the huge dragon head, still closed his eyes tightly and did not speak. On the contrary, the terrifying poisonous dragon actually lowered his head, looked at the rotting skin on his body, and made a strange human voice. And this voice was exactly the same as Lin Xiao. No one expected that I, Lin Xiao, could survive the poison pond and successfully achieve dragon transformation. With the wordless medical scripture in my body, I am not afraid of the poison of the poisonous dragon pond. I can even absorb the dragon poison into my body, transforming my fighting spirit and evolving into a terrifying poisonous dragon. Although cunning poison dragon is not the most suitable choice as I expected, its natal poison is very consistent with wordless medical scripture and can greatly increase my combat power. This is actually a blessing in disguise. Extreme Profundity's Dragon Transformation Sutra. This 9th grade technique has also been officially practiced successfully. Stepping into the threshold, my cultivation level has skyrocketed, and I have successfully embarked on the road of dragon transformation. At this moment, I am qualified to compete with those top monsters. No, I am destined to be superior to those monsters by practicing 9th grade skills. At this moment, I just lack the accumulated time. Chen Beiyuan, the debt between you and me must be settled sooner or later. When the terrifying dragon head spoke to the end, there was clearly strong murderous intent and resentment in his eyes. Obviously, this son of fortune really hates someone. Chapter 36, Part 1. There is no reason why Lin Xiao would have such great malice and hatred for Chen Beiyuan, not to mention the previous suppression that had caused him to lose face and suffer countless humiliations. Let's talk about this dragon transformation opportunity. On the surface, he succeeded in dragon transformation, soared into the sky, and was no longer bound. But secretly, he also paid a huge price. Although he had the protection of the wordless medical scripture, his cultivation was still too weak after all. After being soaked in the depths of the poisonous dragon pond, for 3 consecutive days, his body and spirit had already been contaminated by the dragon poison, leaving behind had a huge sequelae. His fertility is gone. Although the thing can still be used, it has lost its activity. This means that he is destined to be childless in this life. In fact, the whole person is almost the same as withered. This incident was undoubtedly a huge psychological blow to Lin Xiao. At this moment, his mind has gradually become distorted. However, as a miraculous doctor with deep knowledge and forbearance, Lin Xiao quickly adjusted his mentality. Leave Secret Realm first and tell your godfather the good news. Principal's office. Zhang Bai was flipping through the documents for a moment, as if he noticed something, and raised his eyes. I saw Chen Beiyuan's figure suddenly appear on the sofa in the office out of thin air, exactly the same as the position before using the token. At the same time, the rusty blood dragon token in his hand quickly decayed and disappeared into a wisp of smoke. Chen Beiyuan was not surprised by this. With the collapse of Secret Realm, the key in his hand naturally lost its value of existence. At this moment, Chen Beiyuan could clearly feel that Zhang Bai's eyes were suddenly looking at him with a hint of uncertainty. The 8th grade war emperor had obviously noticed the abnormal changes in his body. After all, his own physique at this moment is comparable to the 6th grade divine weapon. Most 6th grade war kings, and even some 7th grade war kings, do not have such a powerful physical body. This is completely different from the situation before entering Secret Realm. As the top expert in this world, Zhang Bai would not be able to notice it unless he was blind. Previously, those royal children who bathed in dragon blood did not have such an exaggerated improvement effect. Beiyuan, it seems that your gains this time are not small. It's all thanks to Principal Jiang. Beiyuan only got some insignificant benefits. Facing Zhang Bai's meaningful words, Chen Beiyuan also responded calmly. Now, the dragon egg has been hidden by him in the system space. No matter how powerful Zhang Bai is, it is impossible to discover the existence of the system. Without the biggest problem of the dragon egg, nothing would happen just because of his suddenly improved physique. At most, Zhang Bai suspected that he had gotten some hidden benefits from Secret Realm. But now that Secret Realm has collapsed, it is impossible for Zhang Bai to be verified. Besides, could Zhang Bai risk falling out with the Donghuachen family and attack him forcefully because of an uncertain, hidden benefit? Do you really think that he is one of those soft persimmons who has no background and can be manipulated by others? The Donghuachen family's largest gun in the empire can not only be used externally, but it can also be used internally. Therefore, Chen Beiyuan is very confident at this moment. Zhang Bai naturally saw Chen Beiyuan's confidence and understood that it was difficult to know what was going on in Secret Realm. In this case, it's better to give him a favor. After all, with Chen Beiyuan's current growth rate, he will definitely be able to keep pace with him and become a top powerhouse within 100 years. Ha ha ha, Beiyuan, you, like your father, are always so impeccable in what you say. In this way, when you have nothing to do in the future, come to Donghua Academy more often. You are also a member of Donghua Academy, and the academy is yours. It's good to go home and visit often. I know that during the previous school competition, you had some unpleasant things with the school. In this way, I will make a decision for you and resolve all the unpleasant things before. Okay, then it depends on Principal Jiang. Chen Beiyuan had a smile on his face. At this moment, he naturally guessed what kind of favor Zhang Bai was going to do to show his goodwill. Outside the medical hospital, accompanied by a tremor in the void, Lin Zhao's figure suddenly appeared out of thin air in the corner. Bang! The token he held in his hand began to crack a little bit, then shattered into several pieces of scrap metal. This Poison Dragon token is just a one-time key to enter the secret realm and can only be used once. Zhang Bai is not crazy enough to hand over the real secret realm key to an outsider. The value contained in a large secret realm is not something ordinary people can imagine. Chen Beiyuan's so-called favor is actually only worth one chance to enter the secret realm. Lin Xiao looked at the fragments of the token in his hand in silence, clenched it tightly, and let the iron piece pierce into his palm. Deep down, I also have an additional understanding of the foundation and strength of those top forces. I tried my best to get what I wanted, but in the eyes of those high and mighty people, it was not worth mentioning at all. Sooner or later, I will eradicate these cancers like you. Lin Xiao resisted the restlessness and desire in his heart, walked out of the corner, and walked towards the medical hospital, wanting to tell him the good news of the successful dragon transformation. However, when he came outside the familiar medical hospital, he was shocked by the scene in front of him and froze on the spot. I saw that at this moment, many high-level university officials, law enforcement team members, and a large number of Donghua students had gathered outside the medical hospital, making it look like a big battle. However, his godfather Chen Beiyuan was forcibly dragged from the hospital bed by several investigators who were previously responsible for guarding him, put on shackles and anklets, and was dragged out of the ward like an old dog, and was dragged outside for trial in public. Chen Beiyuan, based on the review team's review for many days, it has been determined that you embezzled and deducted student resources. Chen Beiyuan, the principal has given special approval to formally remove you from your high-level position. From now on, you are no longer a member of Donghua Academy. What you have to face next is the fairness and justice of the Empire's laws. Judgment. Dear students, Chen Beiyuan has confessed to his crimes. Now this person is detained and transferred to the trial court for disposal. Vice President Liu spoke righteously and loudly to the Donghua students in front of him. At this moment, he seemed to be the embodiment of justice. The filthy Kyongbation under his feet was like a villain about to be judged. As Zhang Bai said, some things can only be used once. You don't need to protect yourself, but instead give your godson an illusory dragon transformation opportunity. Then, there are some things that you have to fight against. After all, the entire Donghua students must be given an explanation. We have no choice but to do official business. It just so happens that it can also be used as a favor. Son of Fortune's godfather was taken away by a favor. This is the power that comes from power. The next plot will be more exciting. Please support me. Chapter 37, Part 1. Ha ha ha, very happy, very happy. Old dog, you made my brother's life difficult and dangerous. He was forced to leave Donghua University and lost the opportunity to go further. You have to die a good death. Kyongbation, you are a beast. You actually exchanged a waste pill for me. Do you know that during the Secret Realm adventure 3 years ago, Yuner died because of the waste pill? In the past 3 years, I have always wanted to peel off your skin, drink your blood, and chew your flesh. Old dog, you used to bully me many times by virtue of your position as a high-ranking official in the university. I secretly said bad things about this bastard Lin Xiao, but you actually avenged your personal revenge. You are in vain as a teacher. The sky has eyes. You finally ended up like this. Once upon a time, there were high-ranking academic leaders. At this moment, he became an old dog that was dragged to the ground and judged in public. Faced with the pointing and yelling of people around him, Chen Beiyuan seemed to have expected it and did not react much. He just lowered his head, as if this way he could maintain the last trace of his dignity. He knew very well that what those around him said were true. Over the years, in order to allow Lin Xiao to grow quickly, he had indeed exploited the rights and interests of many Donghua students, and also secretly used the reserve resources belonging to the school. There are actually some rumors about these things within Donghua University. However, before, he had a high-level position in the school, and he could suppress any rumors. But now he has obviously been given up. At this moment, the lost Chen Beiyuan saw a familiar figure standing not far away and looking at him blankly. Lin Xiao. His dragon transformation succeeded. Chen Beiyuan's pupil shrank, and most of the despair on his face disappeared in an instant, and a hint of joy appeared on his face. This news is undoubtedly the best news for him. As long as Lin Xiao can one day break through the 8th grade War Emperor, then the humiliation he has suffered today will be worth it. By then, as the godfather of the War Emperor, he would also have the possibility of making a comeback. However, before that, he had to do one last thing, which was to take everything down. Never let it affect your godson in the slightest. He quickly winked, signaling Lin Xiao not to be impulsive. Donghua Academy deliberately used him to scare the monkeys and appease people's hearts, but Lin Xiao couldn't save him at all. Godfather. Lin Xiao watched helplessly as his godfather was put in shackles and anklets by some thugs from Donghua University. He even had an iron chain around his neck, dragging him along like a tethered dog. My whole body felt a surge of blood, and I almost couldn't help but take action to save people on the spot. But before he could take action, the surrounding Donghua students discovered his presence and immediately surrounded him. Lin Xiao, how dare you show up? Lin Xiao, your old dog has been caught, and you will be next. Lin Xiao, don't think that I don't know how your cultivation level improved so quickly. You are not happy eating the big guy's human blood steamed buns. In an instant, Lin Xiao, the son of fortune, became the target of public criticism. Some excited Donghua students took out rotten eggs and rocks and threw them at Lin Xiao. Snapped. Lin Xiao didn't react for a moment and was directly hit by a rotten egg. Dark, stinky egg liquid flowed down his forehead. Not far away, Chen Beiyuan, who had just walked out of the principal's office, witnessed the carefully prepared show in front of him. Obviously, this is the explanation in Jiang Bai's mouth. When the old dog Xiong Baicong attacked him before, Donghua Academy kept suppressing him without punishing him because he was concerned about the special relationship between Xiong Baicong and Jiang Bai. But now, the sky has exhausted all the former favors. Then Jiang Bai will naturally not keep this old dog. Next, in order to make good friends with Chen Beiyuan and the Donghuachen family behind him, Xiong Baicong naturally needs to pay the due price. Favors from big shots are not so easy to use. Once it's used up, it's really gone. However, compared to the miserable appearance of the sky, Chen Beiyuan's eyes were more focused on Lin Xiao, who was surrounded by Donghua students not far away. At this moment, he couldn't see through the cultivation of Son of Fortune. Did dragon transformation succeed? That's right. As the Son of Fortune in this world, even if I robbed him of the opportunity and suppressed his situation, he still didn't end so quickly. Dragon transformation is inevitable. So, he should have also successfully practiced the 9th grade technique, Extreme Profundity's Dragon Transformation Sutra. Extreme Profundity's Dragon Transformation Sutra is known as the strongest body refining technique in the original work. It has all kinds of mysterious abilities. I wonder how much power Lin Xiao can exert at this moment. Chen Beiyuan's face was calm, but his deep eyes showed a little eagerness to try, and a strange smile appeared at the corner of his mouth. At this moment, Lin Xiao has made up for his shortcomings and has also mastered the 9th grade technique. Obviously, he will not be easily pressed to the ground and rubbed as before. I just don't know how strong Lin Xiao is at this moment. Are you qualified enough to have a hearty fight with him? Chen Beiyuan. Lin Xiao, who was surrounded, also noticed Chen Beiyuan's gaze. A deep hatred instantly appeared on his face, stained by the stinky egg liquid, and he almost couldn't hold back the anger in his heart. The current situation he and his godfather are in are all thanks to Chen Beiyuan. Dandy boy. He wanted to kill this scourge. But when Vice President Liu Wenhui and several senior leaders of the school appeared in front of him, Lin Xiao knew that this was impossible. Facing several 7th grade war emperors standing in front of him, it was all a luxury for him to get close to Chen Beiyuan. Brother-in-law, what's so good about this kind of incompetent and angry clown? After he is kicked out of Donghua University, how about I find a few people to twist off his head and play football for you? A careless voice suddenly appeared, and he hugged Chen Beiyuan's shoulders from behind and shook him. Chen Beiyuan knew who was coming without even looking. There was only one person who dared to use such a title in Donghua Academy and put his shoulder on his shoulders. By family, by Yuza, his fiancée's biological brother, his brother-in-law. A standard playboy from a top family. However, although this guy is his brother-in-law, he is still a few months older than him in terms of age. They say they are brother-in-law and brother-in-law, but in reality they are more like brothers. Originally, he had an aloof personality and had very few friends around him. Yuza was one of them. However, in the original work, after the original person was defeated by Lin Xiao using despicable means, his personality changed drastically. He actually fell in love with Leng Ruobing and wanted to break off the engagement with the Bai family. Now the Bai family was greatly offended. Yuza even turned against him directly and stopped communicating with him till death. However, after Chen Beiyuan transmigrated, this kind of thing will never happen again. No, he's not that simple. Chen Beiyuan directly rejected Yuza's proposal. As a destiny villain, and with the god's perspective, he was able to suppress Lin Xiao, the son of fortune, and play with him at his fingertips. Yuza does not have this ability. If he rashly sends people to hunt down Lin Xiao, the people sent will definitely be interfered by Lin Xiao's protagonist Halo, and various accidents will occur. Not only will they not be able to kill the person, but they will most likely kill him back and become the boy who gave away the treasure. Chen Beiyuan does not have the habit of sending results to Son of Fortune. Yuza pursed his lips, looking dissatisfied, and was about to say something. At this moment, several investigators dragged the old dog Xiong Baicong and appeared in front of the two of them. As the saying goes, when enemies meet, they become extremely jealous. Chen Beiyuan. Looking at Chen Beiyuan, who was so close in front of him, Chen Beizong's eyes instantly turned red. He looked at the murderer in front of him who had ruined his reputation fiercely. He was about to curse, but he was kicked by the ferocious investigators behind him. His head hit the ground hard, causing it to bleed and even knock out a few teeth. Chen Beiyuan looked calmly and said nothing, showing no pity for Mr. Chapter 37, Part 2. Qiong at his feet. Compassion for one's enemies is cruelty to oneself. Since you want to do right by him, you have to be prepared to bear the consequences. Of course, he wouldn't be bored enough to ridicule. An old dog is not worth it. However, he apparently forgot that there was Beiyuan beside him. You blinded your dog eyes. Didn't you see that I was chatting with Mr. Chen? What do you mean by dragging an old dog here? I don't know. Mr. Chen is kind-hearted and doesn't want to see people suffering. Drag it away. Drag it away. Chapter 38, Part 1. Under Beiyuan's scolding, the faces of several vicious investigators turned pale, and they quickly showed flattering expressions and apologized in low voices. Apparently, they knew how terrifying this little devil of the Bai family was. Immediately, he hurriedly dragged the half-conscious Chen Beizong away, dragging the old face with a bruised and bloody head on the ground, leaving a bloody trace. Brother-in-law, you are still the best. I heard that this old dog saved Principal Zhang's life when he was young. He has been dominating Donghua Academy. No one dares to offend him. Even the children of the aristocratic family dare to scold him. I've suffered from it several times before, but only 3 days after I provoked you. This old dog ended up like this. Beiyuan winked at Chen Beiyuan next to him with an expression of great admiration. Then, his tone became a little lower and he whispered, Brother-in-law, would you like me to ask the court to give him a good greeting? Regarding the things he committed, he will definitely not be able to get out in less than 180 years, but that would be too cheap for him. It would be like sending him to a retirement home. Otherwise, I will send him to the front line to open up wasteland for the empire. Open up wasteland. As the name suggests, it is to open up new frontiers and territories for the Donghua Empire. Most of them are cultivators who have made big mistakes. In order to use the waste, the empire will put specific shackles on them and set up a cannon fodder team to let them risk their lives to explore the movements of the ferocious beasts and alien races and provide them with empire contributes. It can be said that once sent to open up wasteland, basically no one can survive. Keep using it until it is exhausted. When you die, all the debts incurred during your lifetime are wiped off. Chen Beiyuan knew very well that Beiyuan had this ability, because the person in charge of the Imperial Court of Justice is Beiyuan's third uncle. With just one word, the fate of this old bone Kyong baking will change, and it will be directly assigned to the front line of the empire. Still want to go to prison to retire? Don't even think about it. Just go to the front line and serve your country. And this is the influence of the top families. One sentence can change a person's destiny. Over the years, Chen Beizong has offended many children of aristocratic families. Even if Beiyuan doesn't take action, someone will do it to him. Chen Beiyuan didn't say yes or no, but looked at the playful Beiyuan and suddenly said, What happened again? Showing courtesy for nothing is either cheating or stealing. This little devil of the Bai family has never been so attentive in normal times. What could I have done? Beiyuan raised his head with an impossibly arrogant expression, but under Chen Beiyuan's gaze, the expression on his face gradually turned into a sneer, and he rubbed his hands in embarrassment. Actually, there are still some things. Brother-in-law, you also know that my sister is coming back soon. Before she left, she not only told me to watch you in the school, but also asked me to practice hard. But in the past few years, I have been busy with other things. As a result, the cultivation level has been somewhat neglected, and there is no 4th grade warrior yet. My sister is coming back. She will really beat me to death. Then you will have to say something nice for me. My sister will listen to you the most. The 18-year-old 3rd grade fighting spirit peaked, and to be honest, he was considered a genius. In comparison, Chen Beiyuan, who is also 18 years old and is already at the peak of 5th grade coaching. That's really a piece of shit. Chen Beiyuan knows very well that his brother-in-law's talent is not weak, and he is also a first-class existence, just because he loves to play so much. Otherwise, he would have broken through the 4th grade warrior long ago. See your performance. Don't worry, if you don't protect me, my sister can really beat me to death. I've received the news that she has broken through to the 6th grade war king. While she was still training in the far north, she collected a 7th grade ferocious beast. The beast is a war beast, and my body and bones will be beaten to death by her in minutes. Just when Chen Beizong was forcibly dragged away and sent to the Imperial Court of Justice. As the son of fortune, Lin Xiao was forcibly kicked out of Donghua Academy under the watchful eyes of the senior leaders of the academy. He had been absent from Donghua Academy since he had suspended school before. Now that his biggest backer has fallen, naturally no one will be polite to him. Facing several high-level academics with cultivation levels as high as 7th grade war emperor, Lin Xiao could not fight them hard even if he tried hard again. In the end, he could only choose to endure. Outside the school, Lin Xiao looked embarrassed and stained with dark and stinky egg liquid. Instead of the high spirits he had just after the success of dragon transformation, he looked like a bereaved dog. He gritted his teeth, almost to pieces, and stared at the closed door of Donghua Academy. He clenched his hands tightly, and his nails dug deeply into the flesh. No matter how talented you are, in the eyes of those big shots, it's still not worth mentioning. Without strength or background, just one word can easily kill you. From the beginning to the end, Chen Beiyuan never took me seriously. With just one word, he could drive countless evil wolves under his command to attack me. In order to befriend him, those big shots would choose to give up on me, a genius born at the bottom. If I want to fight against Chen Beiyuan, I must find a backer who is strong enough to compete with the Donghua Chen family. Otherwise, I will have no choice but to die. Lin Xiao originally thought that after the success of dragon transformation, there would be a new world without any restrictions. But he obviously thought too much. The successive dimensionality reduction blows profoundly told him, talent doesn't mean everything. To hang out, you must have a background and a backer. Genius without growth is nothing. These days, countless geniuses die in corners or in sewers. Who dares to say that these dead geniuses may not be inferior to him? But they all died on the way, because they had no background or backing, and others had no scruples when attacking them. Suddenly, his pupils shrank and turned into dangerous needle shapes. Goosebumps appeared all over his body, and he felt a strong threat. At some point, a figure quietly appeared behind him. The hoarse voice was like a cold, poisonous snake swallowing the snake's letter. Mr. Lin Xiao, come with me. Mr. Lin wants to see you. Mr. Lin? Not from the Chen family. Could it be? The murderous intent in Lin Xiao's eyes suddenly dissipated, and his secret movements also stopped, as if he had guessed something. Okay, I'll go with you. Chapter 39, Part 1. Kyoto Nightclub, Supreme Imperial Box. Ah Shan, you are such a fool. Brother Lin is my honored guest. How can you use such a rough method? If this matter gets out, where will the face of my Donghua Lin family be? Ha ha ha, Brother Lin. I'm really sorry. It's all because the people below are ignorant and have no rules at all. They almost caused a misunderstanding. So, I will punish myself with 3 cups. I will punish myself with 3 cups as an apology to you for him. The handsome young man with a bit of sinister face held up the wine glass in his hand with an apologetic smile on his face. After scolding his men in the shadow of the corner, he said solemnly to Lin Xiao in front of him with a serious face. Mr. Lin is joking. It's all a small matter, not worth mentioning. Lin Xiao looked at the young man of the same age with a sinister aura in front of him, and his face was also polite. However, he was in a state of turmoil and a bit of uncontrollable excitement. Although Lin Xiao had a rough guess when he came here, but after seeing the young man in front of him, Lin Xiao really confirmed the identity of the person in front of him. The third young master of the Lin family, Lin Zhouxiao, the Donghua Lin family, another top family with the luck of suppressing the 8th grade war emperor. More importantly, the Lin family is also a military family and the second gun of the empire. Moreover, they don't get along well with the Chen family. This is undoubtedly great news. At this moment, Lin Xiao can roughly guess the reason why the other party invited him. It is very likely that they saw his potential and wanted to recruit him. In fact, with his potential shown in Donghua Academy and his clean family background, someone should have come to recruit him. It was just because of Chen Beiyuan that the major forces were unwilling to offend the Donghua Chen family easily, but chose to wait and see, which led to him being in an awkward situation. However, today, someone finally came to the door. And then, Lin Zhouxiao's words obviously verified his guess. Brother Lin, why call me young master Lin? It seems strange. Just call me Zhouxiao. To be honest, the Lin family has paid close attention to you since you rose to prominence in Donghua Academy. I even sent someone to check the family tree and found that your ancestors were separated from the main branch of the Lin family hundreds of years ago. You and I are all family members. It's just that we haven't been together much in recent years, so we are a little unfamiliar. Lin Zhouxiao was full of emotion and excitement, and his tone was full of kindness. It was as if Lin Xiao in front of him was his long-lost relative. But in fact, this kind of words were just polite words to fool people. For a top family like this that has been passed down for hundreds and thousands of years, after years of reproduction and development, I don't know how many side branches have been passed down. For the Donghua Lin family, those side branches of the Lin family are actually no different from strangers. If any of the bloodline of the side branch is so delusional that he wants to go to the Donghua Lin family to hang out, he will probably be beaten out by the servants, who will curse him as a mudleg, a blind dog eye, and a random relative. Unless a top-notch genius suddenly emerges from the bloodline of the side branch, it will attract the attention of the main family and be recruited personally to replenish fresh blood. As the protagonist of the miracle doctor who climbed up from the bottom, Lin Xiao also knows the coldness of the world and the ways of the world. Since he is also an actor, his face is excited and trembling. It's really like this. My ancestors are close relatives of the Donghua Lin family? Young Master Lin. No, Zhou Xiao. Are you telling the truth? The Lin family wants to recruit him to keep fresh blood. He also wants to climb up the backing of the Lin family and serve as his own background. Both sides can be said to get what they need. Thinking of this, Lin Zhao's eyes also secretly swept over the snake-like figure in the corner. Obviously, that person is Ashan mentioned by Lin Zhuxiao just now. 7th grade war king. Able to command a 7th grade war emperor as a subordinate at will. The terror of the Donghua Lin family, a top family, is naturally conceivable. With the Lin family as his backer, he would not be so suppressed when facing Chen Beiyuan. Even after joining the Lin family, he could secretly plan something to make the entire Lin family. Lin Xiao had a smile on his face, but deep in his eyes sparks of ambition began to burn. Ha ha ha, Brother Lin, of course it's true. You and I are all family. I know that Brother Lin has encountered some troubles recently, and those troubles are just trivial matters to the Lin family. I heard that Brother Lin was suppressed because he offended that guy Chen Beiyuan. I didn't care about the previous things, but after Brother Lin joins the Lin family, I have to take care of it. Well, I'll find an opportunity another day, form a bureau and solve your problems. No matter how arrogant and domineering that guy Chen Beiyuan is, he has to give me and the Lin family some face. Lin Zhuxiao said with a domineering look. There was a strong air of pretentiousness in his tone. Young Master Lin is domineering. Seeing that Lin Zhuxiao wanted to stand up for herself on behalf of the Lin family, Lin Xiao was also overjoyed and flattered deliberately. With the Lin family as their backer, Chen Beiyuan and his lackeys had to think twice before moving against him. When the time comes, he will also have a chance to avenge his shame. Chen Beiyuan, it's not too late to settle the score between you and me. Lin Xiao cursed fiercely in his heart. For a time, under Lin Zhao's deliberate flattery, the atmosphere in the entire box gradually became harmonious. Especially after Lin Xiao inadvertently revealed that dragon transformation was successful and his fighting spirit was promoted to the top fighting spirit, the atmosphere reached its peak. Lin Zhuxiao's attitude towards him was obviously more enthusiastic, and her gaze at him became even more intense. In less than a moment, the two of them were arm in arm, drinking heavily, hugging the woman, and complimenting each other. Looking at the enthusiasm of the two of them, even dogs wouldn't believe it if they said they weren't the most beloved relatives and friends, brothers and sisters they hadn't seen for many years. Just when Lin Xiao, the miracle doctor protagonist, was happy that he had found a backer, Chen Beiyuan also returned to Chen's house and returned to his room. However, at this moment, he was not the only one in his room, but there was another figure. That was his father, Chen Zhiqing, the head of the Chen family and the leader of the third theater of the empire. After receiving the secret message from his son, the imperial boss quickly left the third war zone and returned to Chen's house overnight. At this moment, the Chen family father and son were silently staring at a strange dragon egg glowing with scarlet light in front of them. Astonishingly, it was the one taken out from the blood dragon's secret realm. Chen Beiyuan stood aside, not saying much, just watching quietly. Chen Zhiqing stared at the strange dragon egg in front of him for a long time. The solemn look on his face became more intense, and he said in an almost decisive tone, "It is indeed the bloody dragon emperor." Chapter 40, Part 1. Unlike the selfish and brainless villains in other urban novels, Chen Beiyuan did not conceal the existence of the weird dragon egg. Instead, after returning to the family and ensuring his own safety, he immediately notified his father, Chen Zhiqing, the head of the Chen family. He knew very well that there was no need to hide some things, but hiding them would only cause trouble. Could it be that the family could steal his things? Haha, as the next head of the Chen family, the future of the entire Chen family belongs to him. This fundamental matter must be clarified first. To put it bluntly, even if you want to hide it, how long can you hide it? As long as the weird dragon egg hatches, there will be a blood dragon cub around the young master of the Chen family. As soon as the imperial family receives the news, they will definitely react. No one in this world is a fool. At that time, the Donghua Chen family will have to bear the pressure on him. Instead of that, it is better to tell the family about the matter from the beginning and give them a bottom line. Beiyuan, you did a good job on this matter. You didn't hide it, but told me at the first time. Zhang Bai is not a good guy. Don't look at him smiling in front of you, looking harmless, but when it comes to interests, he will definitely make small moves in secret and want to test it. Chen Zhiqing exhaled, and the solemnity on his face was swept away. Looking at his precious son, he showed a kind smile. Dad, will it have an impact on the Chen family? Chen Beiyuan suddenly said. Bullshit impact. The thing is in the Chen family. It belongs to my old Chen family. Can the imperial family go to war with my Chen family because of such a thing? Then, Blood Dragon's secret realm has been in the hands of the imperial family for so long, and they haven't found this dragon egg, which proves that they have raised a bunch of good-for-nothings. You got it as soon as you went in, which proves that this thing is destined for you. Chen Zhiqing, the big boss of the empire, directly burst into swear words, and did not intend to save the imperial family at all. Don't worry, I told the old man about this matter, and the old man said that he would come forward to negotiate directly with the royal family. The current border front is a powder keg. There are many secret realms that have not been opened up in the newly opened territory. I don't know how many resources are hidden in them. The old men of the top families are almost fighting for a little territory. At this moment, they are all hoping to win over my Chen family to speak more for them and get more territory. Even the royal family has to rely on the old man at this time. With the old man's face, the royal family will suffer a loss. However, when this dragon egg hatches, you can tell the outside world that this is a mutant blood dragon with a contract, so as not to attract people's covetousness. One is the reborn 8th grade beast blood dragon emperor. The other is a mutant blood dragon with a contract. There is still a huge gap. If the former is not good, it may attract the covetousness of the 8th grade war emperor. The latter, although rare, but with the name of Donghua Chen family, under normal circumstances, no one would dare to do it easily. Looking at the father in front of him who was nagging and giving him many instructions, Chen Beiyuan also felt the undisguised care from his family at this moment, and was moved in his heart. For this matter, the head of the Chen family put down everything in his hands, left the third war zone overnight, and returned quietly. Far away on the border front, Mr. Chen, who was in a whirlpool, also chose to take action personally to wipe his butt. It can be said that the hidden danger of the weird dragon egg in front of us has been almost eliminated. The situation at this moment is much better than if he had hidden it. From the beginning to the end, Chen Ziqing never said that Chen Beiyuan had caused any trouble to the family, nor did he say anything more. Instead, he nipped the matter in the bud. Sometimes, the love of family members is speechless. Chen Beiyuan knows very well that what he can give back to his family now is to improve his strength as soon as possible, break through the 8th grade war emperor, and change the future destiny of the Chen family. Dad, I understand. With this bloody dragon emperor, we can stop asking the Bai family to find the pet beast. Chen Beiyuan was very cautious. When he was at Donghua Academy, Bai Yuze had taken the initiative to mention this matter, but he did not let Bai Yuze tell the Bai family behind him to stop searching because he was afraid that Jiang Bai would notice something. He can guarantee that every move that happens in the entire Donghua Academy cannot be hidden from Jiang Bai's eyes. The old fox was most likely staring at him. It wasn't until he returned to Chen's house that he could breathe a sigh of relief. It's okay. No matter how powerful the pet beast found by the Bai family is, it can't compare to a reborn blood-evil dragon emperor. If the old man of the Bai family knows about this thing, I'm afraid even he will be tempted. In the past few days, I have arranged for people to send some blood essence from high-level ferocious beasts to supply this dragon egg so that it can hatch as soon as possible. Chen Ziqing looked at the strange dragon egg glowing scarlet for a moment, and then looked at Chen Beiyuan with a look of emotion on his face. My son's luck is unimaginable. Just bathing in dragon blood in the secret realm was able to obtain such huge benefits. Not only did his physical body improve to a level comparable to that of a 6th grade divine weapon, but he also picked up the blood-evil dragon emperor, who was reborn as an egg. Fortunately, he witnessed it with his own eyes, otherwise, he would have doubted whether he was reading a mythical story. The protagonists in those mythical stories are all born with supernatural powers, have terrifying talents, and are blessed with luck. Chen Beiyuan's current situation is so similar to the protagonists in those mythical stories. The Donghua Chen family will probably reach a higher peak in his hands. When he thought of this, his expression suddenly became serious. He looked at Chen Beiyuan in front of him and said, Beiyuan, are you really mentally prepared? It is undeniable that because you have been bathed in dragon blood, after the dragon egg hatches, the new blood-evil dragon emperor will most likely regard you as his closest relative. Obey your words. But he is the reborn 8th grade beast after all. It grows very fast. I am afraid that it will soon regain the position of Dragon Emperor and regain its memory. When the time comes, you will face a ferocious and violent blood-evil beast. Dragon Emperor. How powerful was the bloody Dragon Emperor in his heyday? Even in the entire Donghua Empire, it is difficult to find a few 8th grade war emperors who can compete with it head-on. At that time, what should Chen Beiyuan do? Facing the scrutinizing gaze from his father, Chen Beiyuan smiled calmly without giving in at all. His tone was calm, but with a self-confidence that was extremely domineering. I will become the emperor. Chapter 41, Part 1. The reborn blood-evil dragon emperor can return to the 8th grade beast and restore his throne. Chen Beiyuan can naturally break through the 8th grade war emperor and become the human emperor. No matter how powerful the bloody dragon emperor is it possible that he can still be stronger than this destined villain? In the original work, without the defying the heavens and changing fate system, the original person just relied on his own talent to reach the legendary 9th grade god of war realm, became the first 9th grade god of war in the original work. With such a cultivation speed, even Lin Shao, the son of fortune, is beyond the reach of him. Now, with his destiny system and destiny luck, his breakthrough speed will only be faster. Who will become the emperor first is still a question. At that time, It will just be a drama about the old father beating the rebellious son. If the bloody dragon emperor who has recovered his memory dares to have any reverse bones, Chen Beiyuan can hammer his dragon head into a dog's head. I hope you can be a good dragon who understands current affairs. Otherwise, don't blame me for being ruthless. Chen Beiyuan looked at the weird dragon egg in front of him that had a strange sense of intimacy and said to himself. Under Chen Beiyuan's strange gaze, the dragon egg, glowing with scarlet light, suddenly felt a creepy feeling, and it swayed slightly, like a puppy wagging its tail begging for mercy. Who would have thought that the bloody dragon emperor, who was always known for his cruelty and brutality, would have such a cute side? What a black history. Ha ha ha, I, the son of the Chen family, should be so domineering. Chen Ziqing couldn't help but laugh while looking at the scene in front of him. Chen Ziqing left just as quickly as he came. As the head of the Chen family, the person in charge of the third theater of the empire, and a proper boss of the empire, his affairs are still very busy. If it hadn't been about Chen Beiyuan, he wouldn't have run back to Chen's house from the empire's third war zone in the middle of the night. However, after Chen Ziqing left, the empire's third war zone temporarily organized a hunting high-level ferocious beast drill. Specializes in hunting high-level ferocious beasts with dragon race bloodline. In the next 3 days, a steady stream of blood essence containing high-level ferocious beasts was sent to Chen Beiyuan's residence and supplied to the weird dragon eggs. In order to let the weird dragon egg hatch as soon as possible, Chen Beiyuan specially asked someone to open a blood pool in his residence, directly replicating the dragon blood pool in the blood dragon's secret realm. The strange dragon egg was placed directly in the center of the blood pool and was watered by the essence and blood of countless ferocious beasts, accelerating its growth. Blood Dragon Emperor has the blood of the two evil dragons, Blood Dragon and Evil Dragon, in its body. Among them, the blood of Blood Dragon occupies more initiative. For it, the essence and blood of powerful beasts is undoubtedly the best supplement. In just 3 days, the blood-colored lines all over the strange half-meter-high dragon egg became denser, the scarlet light became brighter and more sinister, and a clear heartbeat also appeared from the dragon egg. It seems that it won't be long before the reborn blood evil dragon emperor will break out of his shell. Chen Beiyuan stood with his hands behind his hands in front of the blood pool, turning a blind eye to the strong smell of blood in the air. He looked at the strange dragon eggs floating in the blood pool with his gloomy eyes and murmured to himself. If it had been anyone else, they would have been on the border front or in a strange, secret realm, desperately hunting ferocious beasts, extracting blood essence, and supplying it to the strange dragon eggs. I don't know that I have to wait until the year of the monkey to hatch the strange dragon egg. However, he was born in the Chen family of Donghua. As long as he said a word, countless people would prepare the needed things and deliver them directly to his door. In just 3 days, the strange dragon eggs were already breaking out of their shells. Suddenly, the strange dragon egg swimming in the blood pool slowly floated to his feet. The surface of the eggshell glowed with an evil blood light, revealing a sense of intimacy, as if it was inviting him to play in the blood pool. In the past 3 days, in addition to staying in the blood pool to practice, Chen Beiyuan also fed his own blood to the strange dragon eggs from time to time to increase their intimacy. He also took a dip in the blood pool from time to time. In just 3 days, the relationship between Weird Dragon Egg and him could be described as almost intimate. Obviously, the strange dragon egg has regarded it as the closest existence, and there is a faint feeling of admiration for it. In addition, Chen Beiyuan was also surprised to find that when he was practicing with the strange dragon egg, his own beast divine ability, Blood Dragon Transformation, had some kind of special change, as if it had become more powerful. There seems to be a special telepathy between them. At this moment, he could roughly sense the strange dragon egg's emotional fluctuations and what it wanted to express. Come, play. Ah! The strange dragon egg floating in the blood pool glows red, conveying exciting mood swings. Just when Chen Beiyuan was about to respond, a sudden phone ringing interrupted their interaction. The caller turned out to be his brother-in-law Beiyuza. Bai, what's the matter? Brother-in-law, I have said hello to my third uncle. The matter of that old guy in Kaiyang baking has been settled. The trial court has made the decision. He will be assigned to the front lines and organized into prison camps to open up wasteland for the empire. This old guy will die even if he wants to. Disaster. However, he is a tough guy and actually resisted everything without affecting that bastard Lin Xiao. Otherwise, I would have directly asked my third uncle to send a trial team to arrest him. Beiyuza's careless voice appeared on the phone. Ding, congratulations to the host for changing the original fate line, which indirectly led to the important supporting character, Qiong Baizong, being sentenced to be assigned to the front line to open up wasteland and incorporated into the prison camp, which indirectly cut off son of fortune Lin Zhao's future support. Ding, congratulations to the host for receiving a special reward, Dragon Blood Grass, a kind of heaven and earth spiritual grass containing powerful dragon blood, mostly grows in the place where the dragon fell. It is very attractive to dragon race and can enhance its development. Chen Beiyuan looked at the dragon blood grass that appeared in the system space and knew in his heart that the value of this important supporting role in Kaiyang baking has been squeezed out. The godfather of Son of Fortune has reached the end of his life. The other party's fate was already doomed from the very beginning. Don't say that he is Son of Fortune's godfather. Even Son of Fortune's godmother, and stepmother will die if they offend him. I got it. Chen Beiyuan was slightly pleased. My brother-in-law's execution ability is pretty good. Last time he just mentioned it casually, but he really took care of the matter. By the way, brother-in-law, there's one more thing. That bitch Lin Laosan sent people to the trial court a few days ago to say hello, hoping that the trial court would show favor to the Lin family and bail out this old immortal named Xiong Baicong. I'm so angry. As you know, I hate people who seek power for personal gain most in my life. Lin Laosan, this bastard, has clearly offended me. I asked my third uncle to detain his person and throw him into a water prison. Went. Baiyuza said righteously. Chapter 42, Part 1. In Baiyuza's eyes, he asked his third uncle to do a small favor and send Chen Beiyuan to the front line to open up wasteland. This was his own family matter and an act of justice. Lin Jiuxiao dared to let people go to the trial court to say hello and wanted to release him. This clearly meant that he wanted to use power for personal gain and had extremely bad intentions. Although there are some double standards, this is Baiyuza's character. In this regard, Chen Beiyuan said nothing. He knew very well that his brother-in-law had the character of helping relatives but not taking care of others. As the one being helped and the one benefiting from it, if he still chirps, he is just being ridiculous. In contrast, he was more interested in another thing. Lin Xiao, the son of fortune, is finally involved with the Donghua Lin family. It seems that even though the gears of fate were intervened and some errors occurred, they still did not stop turning. Chen Beiyuan reached out and stroked the strange dragon egg with a faint look in his eyes. He was not too surprised by the result. As early as 3 days ago, when Lin Xiao was asked to leave by Lin Jiuxiao, the third young master of the Lin family, he had received specific news. In the original work, the reason why Lin Xiao was able to destroy the Donghua Chen family during the late stage was because a top family was involved. That top family is the Donghua Lin family. Only the Lin family, which is also a top family, can deal a fatal blow to the Chen family at the critical moment. There are 2 mountains in the military realm of the Donghua Empire. One is named Chen, and the other is named Lin. The former controls half of the empire's military power and holds the biggest guns. The latter controls 1/3 of the empire's military power and holds the second largest gun. It can be said that the relationship between the 2 parties is equivalent to the relationship between the boss and the second child. Since ancient times, every second child has dreamed of defeating the boss and becoming the eldest brother. The Lin family is naturally no exception, but this dream has always been suppressed by the Chen family. In the original work, Lin Xiao hooked up with Lin Jiuxiao, the eldest son of the Lin family, and eventually reached a deep connection with the Lin family. In order to bring down the Chen family, Lin Xiao first secretly colluded with the ferocious aliens on the border front to betray the country, and then the Lin family stabbed the Chen family in the back. Finally, the behemoth Chen family was destroyed. Of course, in the original work, Lin Xiao, as the protagonist, is naturally a righteous being, and the Lin family also belongs to the righteous side. They joined forces to destroy the evil Chen family. As for the fact that after the fall of the Chen family, the entire border front collapsed, most of the northern territory of the Donghua Empire fell, and hundreds of millions of the empire's people died, those are all small details and small sacrifices that need to be made for justice. What kind of? Sometimes, for the sake of justice, people are killed. So what? As for the fact that a certain miracle doctor protagonist backhandedly attacked the Lin family, a righteous partner, uprooted the family and covered up his dark history after taking power, it was nothing. If you come out to fool around, you will have to pay it back. Lin Xiao, the Lin family seems to have some fun. Chen Beiyuan's eyes were dark, and he stroked the strange dragon egg for a moment. A strange smile appeared on the face reflected in the blood pool. Since the 2 got mixed up again due to the intervention of fate, they can be sorted out together. He directly took out the dragon blood grass in the system space and put it into the blood pool. As soon as it came into contact with the blood pool, the dragon's blood grass melted directly and merged with the entire blood pool. In an instant, a thicker and terrifying blood energy filled the blood pool. The entire blood pool began to boil, the temperature rose linearly, and the blood-colored mist began to rise. The weird dragon egg, floating in the blood pool, suddenly sent out pleasant mood swings, and the bloodlines all over the eggshell flashed, obviously getting a lot of benefits. Chen Beiyuan also took off his clothes, revealing his fair and strong body, and stepped directly into the blood pool. With the addition of dragon bloodgrass, the boiling blood pool continuously stimulated his body and strengthened the blood vessels in his body, making him feel as comfortable as soaking in a volcanic hot spring. Chen Beiyuan leaned against the pool, closed his eyes, put his left hand on the strange dragon egg, and held his mobile phone in his right hand, chatting with Baiyuza. By the way, brother-in-law, The canary you're tired of playing with has been begging for help these days. It's no longer as cold and arrogant as before. However, no one dares to touch your brow. I heard that she has lost weight recently. Master, do you want me to help you secretly? Don't worry, as brothers, I will never talk to my sister about this matter. Beiyuan's mean voice appeared from the other end of the phone. Listening to his mean tone, you can imagine him winking. Obviously, Beiyuan still doesn't think Chen Beiyuan has really let go of Leng Ruobing completely. After all, the infatuation shown by the original body before was still impressive. However, it is really interesting for him to be able to hide women from his elder sister and help his brother-in-law hide them. No need. I have my own arrangements. Chen Beiyuan slowly opened his eyes, pondered for a while, shook his head, and refused. He has always paid attention to Leng Ruobing, the lucky heroine. After all, this woman can still squeeze a lot of benefits. It's not that people can't die, but at least you have to squeeze out all the benefits before you die. After a brief chat, Chen Beiyuan hung up the phone and began to concentrate on absorbing the energy of the blood pool to strengthen his body. Just then, a knock on the door interrupted his absorption. Chen Beiyuan frowned slightly, opened his closed eyelids slightly, and said, "What's up?" "Young Master Chen, the third young master of the Lin family has sent an invitation to invite you to a banquet at the Empire Club. Do you want to accept it?" The old housekeeper stood respectfully outside the door, holding a dark gold invitation in his hand. Lin Jiuxiao? Interesting. It seems that someone is starting to lose control. Chen Beiyuan's lowered eyes flashed with a faint light, as if he had guessed something, and a sneer appeared at the corner of his mouth. "Take it." Kyoto nightclub, Supreme Box. Bang. Everything on the wine table was knocked to the ground. Lin Jiuxiao's eyes were filled with angry flames, and his handsome face was filled with sinister thoughts. "Beiyuan, you are so good. You tricked me in secret." When he recruited Lin Xiao before, he said that he could help fish out Lin Zhao's godfather. On the one hand, he planned to make Lin Xiao grateful, and on the other hand, he wanted to show his strength. As a result, what happened next can be said to be a slap in the face. The men he sent to the trial court were thrown directly into the water prison of the trial court. He even told him to pick it up in person, otherwise he wouldn't be released. What the hell is the difference between this and slapping him in the face? No matter how stupid Lin Jiuxiao is, he still knows that someone is behind it. All the strength of the Chen family lies in the military, and it is definitely not the Chen family who is behind this. The current person in charge of the trial court is a member of the Bai family, and the Bai family is the in-laws of the Chen family. Beiyuan is Chen Beiyuan's brother-in-law, and the two parties play well together. Lin Jiuxiao immediately targeted Beiyuan. Beiyuan most likely acted for his brother-in-law Chen Beiyuan and deliberately messed with him. Lin Xiao sat on the sofa and watched the scene in front of him without saying a word, his brows furrowed and his face ugly. It was obvious that he also knew that his godfather was assigned to the front line to open up Wasteland. Going to the front line to open up Wasteland is basically a dead end. At this moment, a subordinate suddenly walked in and came to Lin Jiuxiao and whispered a few words. The anger on Lin Jiuxiao's face gradually dissipated, and he seemed to have regained his previous calmness. He laughed and looked at the silent Lin Xiao in the corner. "Ha ha ha, brother Lin. Chen Beiyuan has accepted my invitation. When the time comes, I will talk to him personally and ask him to come forward to release him. Don't worry, no matter how arrogant and domineering he is, he has to give my Lin family a face." Chapter 42, Part 2. In his opinion, the fact that Chen Beiyuan would accept his invitation meant that Chen Beiyuan did not want to have too much trouble with the Lin family. The verification period and debut are about to begin. Please give me your support, please. Chapter 43, Part 1. Empire Club. This is a top club located in the capital of the Donghua Empire. It doesn't take money to get into it. You also need to have sufficient identity and be recommended by other members to enter. Here, you can see Heavenly King superstars and beauties who have great influence in the outside world everywhere, or rich people from all over the world who can cause an industry earthquake by just stamping their feet, as well as big shots from all walks of life. However, these big figures, who have great influence outside, are just low-level existences in the club and are used for decoration. The Imperial Club serves those children who are born into wealthy families, are born extraordinary, and almost control the lifeblood of the upper echelons of the entire empire. And the big shots, who desperately squeezed and just wanted to find a master for themselves by currying favor with the children of these aristocratic families. In the Empire Club, the Game of Thrones is being played all the time. But at this moment, in the banquet hall of the Empire Club, there was a slightly haggard and cold figure standing alone. Others around him subconsciously kept a sufficient distance from him. Pairs of strange eyes were more or less focused on the cold expression, either pursed lips and sneering, or with a sarcastic face, or with a complicated expression. Leng Ruobing's face was pale, and his eyes were full of worry and fatigue that could not be concealed. He was dressed in white clothes and plain skirt, like a delicate snow lotus standing on the ice peak. It's like if a gust of wind blows, it will be blown down. She was much thinner than before. Obviously, the luck heroine has been in a bad situation these past few days. The father is in a coma, the mother is missing, and the entire Long family is falling apart. In the past few days, she had begged almost everyone she could. But even if she was a good friend of her father, she was still a good friend of the Long family. Or maybe her friend was like seeing a god of plague when he saw her, for fear of being implicated in the slightest. This ice beauty, who was once one of the 4 beauties in Yinjing, has now become a joke. This is why there are rumors from the outside that she has been played by Mr. Chen, which makes many people who covet her fearful and afraid of getting into big trouble and dare not take action easily. Otherwise, it is natural to imagine what will happen to a woman who has lost her power and reliance, her family's influence, and her stunning beauty. I'm afraid that one night, he will disappear for no reason and appear in a little dark room for others to play with. Naturally, Leng Ruobing understood this very clearly. In the past few days, she had asked many people for help. During this period, some people had shown evil looks, but they quickly disappeared without a trace, for fear of bringing disaster to herself. I'm afraid even Leng Ruobing didn't expect that he was able to maintain his innocence because of the rumors about Chen Beiyuan. However, that's about it. Is there really no hope? Leng Ruobing stood there with a pale face and confused eyes. At this moment, she didn't notice that there was another pair of eyes staring at him not far away. Ruobing. Lin Xiao, who was dressed in a crisp suit and handsome, stood on the second floor, looking down at Leng Ruobing, who seemed to have been abandoned by the whole world, with a hint of distress in his eyes. Even though I had been slapped by Leng Ruobing for no reason before, I felt a little uncomfortable. But he knew very well that it was all because that bastard Chen Beiyuan secretly instigated, framed, and misunderstood Leng Ruobing. Deep in his heart, he still has feelings for the woman Leng Ruobing. Back then, when he spent everything he had to get into Donghua University and saw Leng Ruobing for the first time, he made up his mind that he would never marry this woman in his life. The lust of young people. Ah no, it should be tempting, and it is always engraved in my heart. Ruobing, don't worry, I won't dislike you, and I will make up for your previous debts. Before, he had no background and had no choice but to watch the woman he loved being humiliated. Now that he has relied on the towering tree of the Donghua Lin family, the Leng family's troubles are no longer so unsolvable for him. I believe that as long as he takes action to solve the Leng family's troubles, Leng Ruobing will almost become his woman willingly. Thinking of this, Lin Xiao couldn't help but feel hot inside. He straightened his clothes and walked towards the hall, preparing to appear in front of Leng Ruobing as a savior. Shine a light on this woman who is confused and trapped in darkness. He could already imagine that when he stood in front of Leng Ruobing and protected the Leng family in the name of the Donghua Lin family, he would cause an uproar in the entire banquet and become the focus of everyone present. He's ready to show off. Boom. When Lin Xiao just entered the banquet hall, suddenly there was a burst of noise and commotion ahead. The countless big shots who were talking suddenly frowned, a little displeased. For a moment, all eyes subconsciously turned to the noble and majestic figure who strode into the Empire Club and banquet hall, causing commotion and noise. Even Leng Ruobing, who had his head lowered, was staring blankly at that familiar figure at this moment. In an instant, the whole place was silent. The entire banquet hall seemed to have pressed the pause button. But that noble and majestic figure had no influence at all, and even looked like a matter of course, as if his appearance was destined to become the focus of everyone. That's Master Chen? He actually came to the Empire Club. Young Master Chen? The mysterious young master of the Chen family in Donghua? That person has never attended any formal banquets and rarely appears in public. This is a real big shot. The young master of the Donghua Chen family has appointed the next heir, the future 8th Grade War Emperor, the most powerful second generation in the empire. Chen Beiyuan ignored the exclamations that echoed throughout the hall and walked towards a corner of the hall. He sat directly on the sofa in the corner and crossed his legs. His gaze swept across the entire place, with a strong sense of oppression, like an emperor patrolling his territory and people. And the moment he sat down, Leng Ruobing watched helplessly as those big shots, who had looked arrogant in front of her before now, seemed to have seen their master's pugs, going crazy and surrounding Chen Beiyuan. Many rich ladies from aristocratic families even walked over with blushing faces and blurry eyes. Master Chen, I, Huang Qinqiu, am the 28th richest man in the Donghua Empire. I own many international trading companies. Mr. Chen, I am Yun Xiao from the Yun family. When I followed my father to the Chen family, I had a halfway acquaintance with Mr. Chen. Young Master Chen, I am Xiaoqiu, the head of the Kuei family. My father is currently serving under the head of the Chen family. Mr. Chen, my name is Bai Jia. The smile on Lin Zhao's face instantly froze, and he stared at Chen Beiyuan, who was surrounded by countless people, trembling with anger. I haven't started showing off yet. UF*** ked me first? Chapter 44, Part 1. As the protagonist of A Miracle Doctor, Lin Zhao's habit of showing off and slapping him in the face has penetrated into Lin Zhao's bones. Although he was good at holding back, he had held it in for so long. If he couldn't let it out, might he be suffocating himself to death? Before, he was from a lower-class background, had no background, and had no backing, so he had to be cautious when doing things. Now that he has joined the Donghua Lin family, he naturally has great confidence. But now, before he started to show off, Chen Beiyuan directly stole the limelight. Lin Xiao, the son of fortune, was so angry, especially when he saw Leng Ruobing walking in the direction of Chen Beiyuan involuntarily, ignoring his existence. He only felt that his head was green. Chen Beiyuan. As the young master of the Chen family in Donghua, Chen Beiyuan is naturally the target of countless people's fawning. Unfortunately, the original person rarely appeared in public. Either practice walking the dog at home, or go to Donghua University to find Leng Ruobing. As a result, its mysterious image was created. Now, he took the initiative to show up at the banquet at the Empire Club, which naturally caused a stir. Many people who wanted to have a relationship with him immediately posted him. A rich man from the Empire who has a net worth of tens of billions or hundreds of billions, and wants to find a backer to protect him. There are strong practitioners who have been famous for a long time and want to seek refuge with a good master. There are fathers and grandfathers who have taken refuge under the Chen family, and they are considered half of the family's children. He comes from a wealthy family and wants to be a young man. There are enchanting young ladies who want to become famous instantly. Wealthy ladies? In just a few minutes, Chen Beiyuan casually pointed at a few people he liked and accepted them as dogs. The person who was pointed out seemed to have won a big prize, with a look of excitement on his face, and he almost couldn't restrain himself from shouting in excitement. The others who were not pointed out looked disappointed and frustrated. These days, being able to be a dog for a kid from a top family like Chen Beiyuan is an opportunity for defying the heavens and changing fate. Most of the time, the Donghua Chen family's tiger skin is enough to block many coveting and prying eyes. How many wealthy daughters and noble ladies are shameless and cold, but deep down in their hearts, they don't want to be Chen Beiyuan's canary outside. It's a pity that the people Chen Beiyuan picked are either rich people with a net worth of hundreds of billions, or their parents are involved with the Chen family and they know everything. As for women, not a single one. At this moment, a slightly thin and cold figure suddenly walked through the crowd and walked straight towards Chen Beiyuan. This sudden move naturally attracted the attention of countless people in an instant. Some wealthy daughters and ladies who were not selected could not help but sneer at this moment. Aren't you cheap? Young Master Chen is tired of playing with her, and he takes the initiative to stick to her. What are the four beauties in Yinjing? If it weren't for young Master Chen, she would be on the list. The other three are not comparable to her, a woman from a small family like her. That's right, she pretended to be so pure and cool yesterday, but in private, TSK, I heard she was the one who asked Mr. Chen to go to the hotel in the middle of the night. Leng Ruobing turned a deaf ear to the gossip that followed. She didn't know how many times she heard comments like this these days. Her black eyes with a faint mist stared straight at the indifferent Chen Beiyuan, with a trace of pity and tenderness on her face. She subconsciously grasped her dress with her hands and shouted in a low voice, "Beiyuan, is something wrong?" Chen Beiyuan was still sitting on the sofa with his legs crossed. His gloomy eyes were like black holes in the abyss, looking at Leng Ruobing in front of him. He could obviously sense that the mental state of this glamorous school beauty was obviously a little unstable. There is even a trend of collapse. Can you help me? Help the Leng family? My father has been in a coma for several days, and my mother has disappeared for several days. The Leng family members have either been taken away or disappeared for no reason, but I can't do anything. I know I was wrong before. Please help me. I beg you. Leng Ruobing stood there blankly, with an obvious tremor in his voice, no longer as cool and arrogant as before. After being beaten by reality for several consecutive days, the bleak world, and the miserable situation after the death of his family, a normal person would have gone crazy. The heroine of luck has been resisting for so long without completely breaking down, which can be regarded as a strong psychological quality. Nowadays, she is actually the only one left supporting the Leng family outside. The thin figure in white clothes and plain skirt has reached the limit at this moment and may fall down at any time. Seeing Leng Ruobing being tortured so miserably by reality, Chen Beiyuan was still very calm, without the slightest thought of pity. In the original work, the original person was tortured so much by this woman, and now he just wants her to come back bit by bit. Give me a reason to help you. Chen Beiyuan plays with taste. Leng Ruobing's bloodless face suddenly turned red, as if she noticed Chen Beiyuan's unscrupulous gaze, and whispered, "As long as you are willing to help me, I am yours. You can do whatever you want." Shut up, Chen Beiyuan, you are going too far. Bullying a woman in public is nothing. Come at me if you can. Lin Xiao suddenly rushed out from the side, interrupting what Leng Ruobing was going to say next. At this moment, he could already feel a green light starting to appear on his head. Although he had sent Leng Ruobing to Chen Beiyuan's bed before and put on a hat on his own initiative, it was under forced circumstances. Now, what if we get another one? He won't agree. Ruobing, don't worry. I have now joined the Donghua Lin family and recognized the head of the Lin family as my adoptive father. I have enough power to protect you and the Leng family. Lin Xiao immediately revealed his biggest trump card as soon as he appeared on the stage. Donghua Lin family, the adopted son of the head of the Lin family. The faces of the people around who were originally preparing to taunt him couldn't help but change their expressions and instantly became quiet. Even Leng Ruobing couldn't help but glance at Lin Xiao at this moment, but when she recalled the terror of the man sitting on the sofa in front of her, she silently lowered her head. Obviously, in the past few days, she has clearly understood the horror of Chen Beiyuan, and her heart has been branded with fear. She didn't think Lin Xiao could fight against Chen Beiyuan. If Chen Beiyuan doesn't speak, the Leng family's situation will probably never end. Looking at Leng Ruobing's lowered head, Lin Xiao's expression also turned ugly instantly. This was different from what he imagined. Shouldn't it be him who stepped forward, threw himself into the arms of a beautiful woman, and ridiculed his enemies in public? If you act like this, doesn't he become a complete clown? Snapped, snapped, snapped. Wonderful, wonderful. I can be so proud of having a father for myself. Let's not talk about whether your mother agrees or not. Fortunately, your own father died early. Otherwise, I'm afraid you will be angry to death. Ah, Lin Xiao. I can understand that you want a hero to save a beauty, but it's a pity that people don't like you as a hero and don't think you can save her. Chen Beiyuan clapped his hands and looked at Lin Xiao, who had an ugly expression in front of him. The corner of his mouth curled up slightly. Chapter 45, Part 1. As the saying goes, hitting someone in the face will kill someone and hurt their heart. Chen Beiyuan's words almost swollen the face of Lin Xiao, the miracle doctor. What does it mean to show off and get slapped instead? That's it. Lin Xiao's face instantly turned green. He thought he was eloquent enough. But Chen Beiyuan's mouth can make even a dead person angry to death. You. He wanted to retort. But looking at Leng Ruobing, who was hanging his head next to him, he didn't know how to retort for a moment. The hero is intentional, but the beauty is ruthless. If people don't want him to save them, what can he do? Leng Ruobing, it seems that Lin Xiao is really passionate about you. Beiyuan, I'm not familiar with him. Facing Chen Beiyuan's profound words, Leng Ruobing's delicate body trembled and she quickly explained. This move undoubtedly caused tons of psychological damage to Lin Xiao, the miracle doctor protagonist. However, Chen Beiyuan still did not stop the combo, but turned his target towards him. Lin Xiao, it seems that you really like Leng Ruobing and always like to stand up for her. However, Luo Hua is intentional, Lu Shui is ruthless, and Leng Ruobing obviously has no feelings for you. In this way, you and I can be considered acquainted, and I will give you a chance. As long as you cut off one of your arms, I can consider stopping all the forces targeting the Leng family and erasing all the previous things. What do you think? This is the best test for your love for Leng Ruobing. Chen Beiyuan's abyss-like, bewitching and demonic whispers resounded in the banquet hall, immediately causing drastic changes in the faces of Leng Ruobing and Lin Xiao. Chen Beiyuan, don't try to deceive people. Lin Xiao's expression changed slightly, and he immediately understood Chen Beiyuan's evil intentions and quickly explained to Leng Ruobing, Ruobing, Chen Beiyuan's words are not trustworthy. Believe me, I have joined the Donghua Lin family. The Lin family and the Chen family are both the top families in the empire. They will definitely be able to protect you and the Leng family. A look of hesitation seemed to flash across Leng Ruobing's face. But at this moment, Chen Beiyuan's confusing words appeared again. So you are so powerful, but how could I remember that your godfather Cheong Baizong has been sent to the front line to open up Wasteland? Is it because you are not capable, or the Lin family is not good enough? You can't even save your own godfather, so you expect to save others? As soon as these words came out, Lin Xiao's confident face instantly stiffened and his eyes became ferocious. This was clearly poking his lung tube, still the kind that stabs you to death. Seeing Lin Xiao's expression, the last glimmer of hope in Leng Ruobing's eyes completely dimmed. You can't even protect your own godfather. How can you expect him to protect Leng's family? That's really bullshit. Seeing Lin Xiao choked and speechless, Chen Beiyuan smiled lightly and continued, Lin Xiao, what I just said is still valid. As long as you cut off an arm, I can consider letting the Leng family go. Think about it carefully, you just lost a hand. But it is possible to gain love. You don't dare, right? It's just one hand, a manly man. If it were me, I would chop them both without even blinking. Faced with Chen Beiyuan's sinister tone, Lin Xiao's face instantly turned red with anger, and he was shaking with anger. Some people in the surrounding crowd couldn't help laughing. Even Leng Ruobing had his head lowered at the moment, his shoulders were shaking, his expression looked down, and he didn't know whether he was crying or laughing. It seems that your love for Leng Ruobing is nothing more than this. You are not even willing to pay such a small price. So, let me add more chips. Your godfather, who is assigned to the front line to open up Wasteland, should still be halfway there, and has not actually arrived at the prison camp. I can speak and have him be brought back. The price just now remains the same. I only want one of your hands now. It's your turn to give me an answer. Are love and family affection worth one of your hands? Chen Beiyuan once again added fuel to the fire, directly forcing Lin Xiao into a desperate situation. At this moment, he was like a demon in human skin, constantly threatening and tempting, beguiling people's hearts, and forcing Lin Xiao to make a choice. Lin Xiao's expression changed completely. He gritted his teeth and looked at Chen Beiyuan. He felt chills all over his body. For the first time, he felt the terror of Chen Beiyuan. Use words and power as sharp blades, and family affection and love as cages. It almost forced him into a point of no return. This is almost a dead end. Yes, that's a hand. If you don't agree, you will be labeled as ungrateful, heartless, and unjust. Once this big label is attached to him, who will dare to trust him or use him in the future? His reputation is completely ruined. As for silence? Haha, this kind of thing requires silence. Everyone knows what he is. At this moment, Lin Xiao felt that Chen Beiyuan's calm gaze had almost seen through his selfish nature and set a trap for him. This man's grasp of the human heart is simply unparalleled. At this moment, even the eyes of the people around him changed when they looked at Chen Beiyuan, and there was obviously a deeper sense of awe and fear in their eyes. It seems that family affection and love are not as good as one of your hands. It's really disappointing. Let's do this. I'll give you one last chance. Just kneel down and kowtow to me. Chen Beiyuan looked at Lin Xiao with a sinister expression. Suddenly his tone changed and he spoke. He knew very well that with Lin Xiao's character, it was impossible for him to cut off his arm. Snapped. No hesitation. Lin Xiao knelt down decisively and gave Chen Beiyuan a hard knock in front of everyone. The speed and force were so fast that the floor tiles were broken into pieces. Many people present had no time to react. Chen Beiyuan, keep your word. I was silent just now, just because I thought that one hand could make my godfather and Leng Ruobing escape from the sea of bitterness. I was so excited that I didn't react for a while. After I reacted, since if the conditions are lowered, it has nothing to do with me. Lin Xiao made up for his silence just now without changing his expression. As for whether other people believe it or not, that has nothing to do with him. And judging from the sneering faces around him, it was obvious that no one believed his sophistry. But Lin Xiao didn't care at all, and secretly breathed a sigh of relief. Fortunately, Chen Beiyuan couldn't calm down and took the initiative to lower his demands. It actually gave him a glimmer of hope from a dead situation. He stared straight at Chen Beiyuan and his tone became more serious. Chen Beiyuan, I have fulfilled your request. Now it is your turn to fulfill your promise. Faced with Lin Xiao's glaring gaze, and Leng Ruobing's eyes that instantly became expectant, Chen Beiyuan smiled calmly and sat on the sofa, holding his chin with his right hand. You are still too young. Do you believe this? I just said I would think about it, but I didn't really agree. Let's do this. You knock a few more times and I'll think about it a few more times. Maybe I'll agree if I'm in a good mood. Chen Beiyuan, URF*** King playing with me. The third update, please support me. Chapter 46, Part 1. Chen Beiyuan, URF*** King playing with me. Lin Xiao instantly became furious with the three corpse gods. The other party made it clear that they were treating him like a monkey. You just know it. Chen Beiyuan leaned on the sofa, looking at the angry monkey in front of him with a surprised look on his face, and sighed helplessly. How did you survive until now with a brain like yours? Poof. A wealthy lady with a plump figure and enchanting temperament couldn't help laughing. I just realized it at this time. It seems that my brain is really not working well. I'm laughing so hard. You have such a stupid brain, and you still want to play with Mr. Chen? The upright and awe-inspiring person you pretended to be just now turned out to be useless. Other people around were also infected by the lady's laughter and couldn't help laughing. Looking at Lin Xiao was like looking at a monkey being played with. The entire banquet hall was instantly filled with a cheerful atmosphere. Chen Beiyuan, you are looking for death. Lin Xiao could only feel his blood rising at this moment. He couldn't help but want to take action and smash the annoying face of Chen Beiyuan in front of him. With the support of the Lin family, he is naturally not afraid of Chen Beiyuan's little tricks. Since the success of Dragon Transformation, he has successfully practiced the Extreme Profundities Dragon Transformation Sutra, and his combat power is dozens of times stronger than what he was at Donghua Academy before, and far stronger than Chen Beiyuan at that time. At this moment, he is confident that he can fight Chen Beiyuan head-on. As long as he can show the strength to fight against Chen Beiyuan, his name will be spread throughout Yinjing by tonight. By then, the Lin family's attention to him will also increase significantly. At that time, it would be even better if we could successfully arouse the conflict between the two behemoths, the Lin family and the Chen family, and let each other fight with each other. Lin Xiao, stop. Just when Lin Xiao was about to take action, a slightly cold voice suddenly sounded from behind him. Lin Jiuxiao strode down from the second floor with a sinister look on his face. Behind him, there was a figure wearing a black cloak whose appearance was unclear. Seeing the appearance of the third young master of the Lin family, there was another wave of exclamations at the scene. Obviously, many people have realized that something is going to happen at today's banquet. Damn it! Seeing that the person coming was Lin Jiuxiao, although Lin Xiao felt a little pity, he still had the idea to take action. Originally, according to the initial plan, he and Lin Jiuxiao should have negotiated with Chen Beiyuan. It's a pity that Lin Jiuxiao received some news halfway, saying that he wanted to deal with it first, and left for a while. I didn't expect to come back so soon. Lin Jiuxiao came to the hall with a cold face, looked at the situation in front of him, and looked coldly at Chen Beiyuan on the sofa. Chen Beiyuan, what do you mean? You asked that little bastard Beiyuza to destroy my place, arrest my people, lead me away, and then want to blatantly mess with my Lin family members. Lin Jiuxiao is so angry. It should have been a good negotiation. As a result, he received the news that his business was destroyed by Beiyuza. What's even more annoying is that a woman he raised outside was captured by Beiyuza. In a rage, he was naturally ready to settle the score with Beiyuza. However, when he was halfway there, he realized that it was most likely a ploy to lure the tiger away from the mountain, and hurried back. Sure enough, I happened to see Lin Xiao being angered and preparing to take action. Suddenly, Lin Jiuxiao seemed to notice the presence of Leng Ruobing next to her. Her eyes seemed a little stunned by this cool school beauty, and a trace of greed flashed in her eyes. His little move seemed hidden, but how could he escape the attention of Chen Beiyuan and Lin Xiao? Even Leng Ruobing, who was involved, noticed it. According to outside rumors, Lin Jiuxiao, a young man from an aristocratic family, is very lustful and especially loves wives. Wow, mother Lin Laosan, how dare you talk to my brother-in-law like this? You are eating shit. You talk like shit. Beiyuza's arrogant and domineering voice suddenly appeared from outside. I saw him walking into the banquet hall casually, his face full of defiance, and he didn't give Lin Jiuxiao any face. For a moment, everyone in the banquet hall was numb. An ordinary wine banquet actually came with people from 3 top aristocratic families, the Chen family, Lin family, and Bai family. Some of them noticed that the situation was not good and were afraid of harming Qiyu, and they began to sneak away quietly. Beiyuza, you still showed up in front of me. You ruined my place and stole my woman. I will settle the score with you later. Lin Jiuxiao gave Beiyuza a fierce look, wishing to cut him into pieces, but he still suppressed the anger in his heart and looked straight at Chen Beiyuan, who was sitting on the sofa indifferently. Chen Beiyuan, is this your attitude towards negotiation? I want an explanation. Who are you? You want to explain to me? Chen Beiyuan sneered. Looking at Lin Jiuxiao was like looking at an unknown clown. In the original work, the third young master of the Lin family is extremely ambitious and wants to dominate the Lin family, but due to his own strength and status, he has been unable to do so. Later, he met Lin Xiao, son of fortune, and they were like each other. Lin Xiao first helped him kill his eldest brother and successfully became the next heir of the Lin family. Later, after his father learned that Lin Jiuxiao had killed his eldest brother, he decisively strangled his own father to death and directly ascended the throne and became the head of the Lin family. After that, he wholeheartedly supported Lin Xiao in dealing with the Qin family. This is a wolf-hearted bastard who would even kill his own eldest brother and father, just to get the upper hand. Immediately, he said without mercy, "Your eldest brother is dead? Did the Lin family choose you to be their heir? Are you qualified to negotiate with me? Are you still asking for an explanation? Where do you get the confidence?" As soon as these words came out, Lin Jiuxiao was completely off guard. This really poked his lungs. Because, in the Lin family, he is just the third child. Above him, there is a second sister and an eldest brother. The heir to the Lin family is his eldest brother Lin Jiuzhou. In terms of status, he and Chen Beiyuan are not equal at all. Only the heirs of the family can represent the family. The rest don't have this right. He finally understood that Chen Beiyuan had no intention of negotiating with him from beginning to end, and was clearly just playing tricks on him. Okay, Chen Beiyuan, do you know how serious the consequences of teasing the Lin family will be? Lin Jiuxiao was extremely angry and laughed instead. Anyone who knows him well knows that the third young master of the Lin family is completely angry. Lin family? Are you a young man qualified to represent the Lin family? That's fine. I will just assume that your eldest brother is really dead, and you will be the heir of the Lin family. I, the young master of the Chen family, the future head of the Chen family, I can represent the Chen family. Now, tell me, what does the Lin family want to do? Want to start a war with my Chen family? Chen Beiyuan looked serious and slowly stood up from the sofa. He looked directly at Lin Jiuxiao in front of him for the first time and said in a calm voice. In an instant, the whole place was silent. Chapter 47, Part 1. Chen family, Lin. The 2 strongest mountains of the imperial military were actually facing each other. I'm afraid this is not going to break the sky. At this moment, the entire club fell into deathly silence. In an instant, everyone's eyes focused on Chen Beiyuan and Lin Jiuxiao. Lin Jiuxiao's pupils shrank, and her sinister face instantly turned the color of pig liver. He stared hard at Chen Beiyuan, who was younger than him, with a look of resentment flashing in his eyes. He was actually cornered by a kid who had just turned 18. Why don't you give me face? Why don't you give me face? Why can you become the heir of the Chen family at such a young age? He is also known as the young king who is destined to dominate the younger generation. And he is just what others call a dandy. Even his eldest brother doesn't think highly of him. He just wants to do something to make the Lin family recognize him. Jealousy, unwillingness, resentment. A series of negative emotions began to surge in my heart. But at this time, can he be cowardly? If he gets cold feet, he will slap the Lin family in the face. At this moment, I am already riding a tiger. If he just gave up, he would probably become a joke in the mouths of the children of the aristocratic family. He didn't believe it. The Chen family was really that powerful. They are all top aristocratic families. Is it possible that they can still suppress the Lin family? Behind him, the Lin family protector Taoist, who was wearing a black cloak, changed his expression slightly and wanted to stop him, but he was a step too late. Let's start a war. The Lin family, will still be afraid of your Chen family. Tomorrow, the war begins. Lin Jiuxiao suppressed the anxiety and resentment in her heart, looked directly at the oppressive and angry Chen Beiyuan in front of her, and roared angrily. But for some reason, his roar sounded a bit harsh and lacked confidence. Obviously, he also knew that he did not have the ability to represent the Lin family. The reason why they said the war would start tomorrow was just a clever trick to hold up the scene and delay time. However, how could Chen Beiyuan not see what he was thinking? The reason why he was personally invited to the Empire Club tonight. Isn't it just here to make use of the topic? How is that possible if we don't make some noise? If the boss doesn't bang the second child from time to time, I'm afraid the second child will really have other thoughts. How dare the third son of the Lin family talk to him, the young master of the Chen family, like this? Do you really think that the Chen family is a soft persimmon? Since we have decided to start a war, why wait until tomorrow? That's it now. Chen Beiyuan didn't give Lin Jiuxiao a chance to regret it and took out a black token from his waist. On the black token, there is a word, Chen. This is clearly the identity token of the young master of the Chen family. This token is not only a symbol of status and rights, but also can mobilize most of the power of the entire Donghua Chen family for one's own use. If something happens to the head of the family, you can use this token to temporarily control the entire Chen family and replace the head of the family. Chen Beiyuan directly activated the black token in his hand. Tonight, I have uprooted all the Lin family's properties in Yinjing and all the affiliated family forces. In an instant, his words resounded throughout the Empire Club like thunder. Through special channels, he directly appeared among all the Chen family's children in the entire Yinjing city, as well as the ears of all the affiliated forces under his command. In an instant, the entire Yinjing city was shocked. As if they had received orders from their masters, the countless hawks and minions under the Chen family started to move crazily towards the Lin family's properties without any hesitation. All affiliated forces of the Lin family also began to suffer a violent blow. Such a large-scale conflict instantly attracted the attention of all forces in Yinjing City. Empire Club. For a moment, everyone's expressions changed. This is so serious. The Chen family and the Lin family are really at war. At this moment, they could vaguely hear the sounds of shouting and killing outside. Lin Xiao, the miracle doctor protagonist, looked at Chen Beiyuan in disbelief. He never imagined that the power of the other party could be so terrifying. One word can drive countless people to charge into battle. With a wave of your hand, you can set off a violent storm. Is this the right of the heir to a top family? Although he has overestimated Chen Beiyuan's terrifying power again and again. But after all, I still didn't expect that I still underestimated the other party. Lin Jiuxiao was not on the same level as this man at all. Is this the power of power? Lin Xiao looked at Chen Beiyuan in silence. His breathing became a little faster, and there seemed to be some kind of throbbing in his heart, as if something was taking root and sprouting quickly. Leng Ruobing stared blankly at the powerful and domineering Chen Beiyuan in front of him. He felt his heartbeat beating rapidly, and his legs felt weak. Power is not only a poison that makes men obsessed, but it is not weak at all to women. Brother-in-law. Awesome. Beiyuza, who was standing aside, looked at his domineering brother-in-law with yearning. The most he could do just now was destroy this guy Lin Jiuxiao situation. As a result, his brother-in-law immediately destroyed the entire Lin family's property in Yinjing and all the affiliated forces. This was almost like stepping on the faces of the entire Lin family to the ground. Only such a domineering and arrogant man is qualified to be his brother-in-law. Damn it! Lin Jiuxiao's face was pale at this moment, and the coldness on his face disappeared without a trace in an instant, replaced by panic and anger visible to the naked eye. He looked at Chen Beiyuan as if he were looking at a madman. He said he would start a war, but he was just trying to hold up the scene. Are you serious? The matter is so big. No matter how it ends, his end will not be too good. Not even if his father is the head of the Lin family. Chen Beiyuan, do you know what you did? The Lin family will not let you go, and my eldest brother will not let you go. You are dead. You are dead. My elder brother will definitely. Lin Jiuxiao was obviously panicking at this moment. Not only did he start talking indiscriminately, but he also moved his eldest brother out. You'd better take care of yourself first. For the sake of the Lin family, I have tolerated you enough. At this time, you still dare to talk to me like this? Who are you? Chen Beiyuan's face turned cold, and he punched him directly. Boom. It was just an ordinary punch without any fighting spirit attached, but it caused an instant burst of energy. As the fist waved, a terrifying strong wind of level 7 or 8 was set off, overturning the entire banquet floor. In an instant, the expressions of everyone in the entire banquet hall changed dramatically, and they were running around wildly. A sense of death crisis instantly enveloped Lin Jiuxiao. His cold face lost all color for an instant, and his mind went blank. The cultivation of a 4th-grade warrior seemed to have become a decoration at this moment. At this moment, Lin Jiuxiao seemed to see the shadow of his eldest brother Lin Jiuzhou and Chen Beiyuan in front of him. They are all so domineering, so powerful, and so invincible. Ashan, save me quickly. There will be another update tonight, which may be a little later. Thanks to your support, I will give you a wave of 5-star reviews. Chapter 48, Part 1. Not good. The black-robed Taoist who had been standing behind Lin Jiuxiao changed his expression, and the cultivation of the 7th-grade war emperor instantly burst out, trying to stop him. If Lin Jiuxiao died, he would probably be buried with him. Swish. But at this moment, a broken knife suddenly appeared and was placed on his neck, making his hair stand on end and freezing in place. Old Chen, who had a broken arm, appeared behind him at some point, with a pair of white eyes looking at him silently. It was obvious that if he dared to move again, he would be beheaded in an instant. Both of them were Taoists from top families, and both were 7th-grade war emperors. The gap between them was immediately clear. They were not of the same level at all. No. Lin Jiuxiao saw this scene and immediately showed a desperate expression. Ashen was the Taoist specially assigned to him by the family, and he was also the trump card that allowed him to be arrogant and domineering, and no one could provoke him. But now, he was subdued so easily. Seeing Chen Beiyuan's fist getting closer and closer to his head, the muscles on Lin Jiuxiao's face trembled wildly, and his hair was blown backwards by the wind. Under the pressure of death, his crotch was instantly wet and warm, and he lost control of his bladder on the spot. Seeing Lin Jiuxiao trapped in a dead end, Lin Zhao's expression changed slightly, and he subconsciously wanted to stop him, but he suddenly remembered something. Wait, if Lin Jiuxiao dies in Chen Beiyuan's hands, the Lin family will probably turn against the Chen family, and I will be able to take advantage of the situation. No, if Lin Jiuxiao dies, Chen Beiyuan may not be in trouble. After all, he is the young master of the Chen family. Instead, as the person involved, I will definitely attract the anger of the Lin family. At that time, I will not only lose the biggest backer of the Lin family, but also have to face the suppression of Chen Beiyuan. At that time, I will really be courting death? Damn it, Chen Beiyuan seems to want to kill Lin Jiuxiao, but in fact he wants to cut off my connection with the Lin family. Lin Xiao felt chilled when he thought that he was very likely to be hunted down by the 2 top families. This killing plan is not only aimed at Lin Jiuxiao, but also at him. Chen Beiyuan, what a deep scheming. But when he reacted, his hand was a moment slower. It was this moment slower that missed the best opportunity. Seeing that Lin Jiuxiao was about to die, a dark phantom suddenly appeared in the banquet hall. He grabbed Lin Jiuxiao, who was frozen in place, with one hand and protected him behind him. Then he punched Chen Beiyuan. Seeing the newcomer actually gave him a chilling sense of crisis. Chen Beiyuan couldn't help but feel a sense of joy from the bottom of his heart. Come on. Boom. The terrifying impact collided instantly. The entire banquet hall was instantly rippled by the aftermath of pure power. It was as if 2 terrifying monsters collided head-on. Huge cracks appeared on the ground. Chen Beiyuan stood in place, standing tall, not retreating a step. The dark phantom suddenly changed his face and felt his fist bones tremble. He couldn't bear the pressure of the collision and was directly knocked back several steps by Chen Beiyuan. Trample, trample, trample. Suddenly there were several deep footprints on the ground. It was forcibly unloaded to the ground through a special force dissipation method. When the dark phantom stopped, his true face was instantly exposed to everyone's sight. That face was strikingly similar to Lin Jiuxiao's, but it was indeed colder and calmer. In an instant, someone from the Empire Club recognized the person's identity. Lin Jiuzhou. It's Lin Jiuzhou, the heir to the Donghua Lin family. This man is 32 years old. It is said that he broke through the 6th grade War King last year and is one of the strongest top monsters in the empire. Chen Beiyuan is only a 5th grade war master. He has not yet been trained to be highly integrated with his own fighting spirit. However, he actually defeated Lin Jiuzhou in a pure strength competition and forced him to take several steps back. How terrifying must his physical body be? How terrifying! Could it be that the prophecy of the Lord of Heavenly Secrets Pavilion is true? Chen Beiyuan will become the young king who will surpass all the younger generations in 10 years. In an instant, the entire banquet hall was screaming in surprise and disbelief. A pair of eyes were staring at the confrontation ahead. Damn it! Is this guy a ferocious beast in human skin? In terms of physical body, he is as good as that lunatic from the Zhu family. He is 18 years old. Lin Jiuzhou had a stern face, but a look of astonishment flashed deep in his eyes. He never thought that one day he would be defeated by an 18-year-old brat in a physical competition. His eyes gradually became solemn, no longer showing the slightest contempt, and he obviously regarded Chen Beiyuan as a being on the same level. At this moment, Chen Beiyuan was also sizing up Lin Jiuzhou, who suddenly appeared in front of him. The top monster of the Donghua Empire is not simple either. You must know that his body has been bathed in dragon blood and blessed with dragon blood Dao fruit, and has reached a level comparable to that of a 6th grade magic weapon. The opponent was actually able to block it head-on and forcefully remove it using force dissipation. His physical strength is definitely not weak. At least it is comparable to that of a 5th grade divine weapon. And the speed of the ghost that just appeared suddenly is far beyond what the ordinary 6th grade war king can compare with. This person even possesses the legendary top fighting spirit, Tao Dai. It is said that once it manifests, it can swallow everything in the world in the original work. This monster of the Lin family even had a strong record of attacking and killing the 7th grade war king and the 6th grade war king. He was also a terrifying being who could fight beyond the level. This man is ruthless, and resourceful, like a poisonous snake hiding in the dark. It's a pity that he died tragically in the hands of his own brother and Lin Xiao. Just as the two were confronting each other, Lin Jiuxiao, who was scared to the side and peed, also came to his senses at this moment, especially when he saw the elder brother protecting him in front of him. His pale face instantly turned ferocious and terrifying. Obviously, the scene where he was almost killed by Chen Beiyuan just now left a big psychological shadow on him. Brother, kill him, kill him. This little bastard actually wants to kill me. Kill him for me. I want him to live and die. Snapped. Lin Jiuzhou responded with a slap, hitting him hard on the face and instantly swollen him. Lin Jiuxiao froze on the spot for a moment, looking at his eldest brother in disbelief. Shut up. It's not your turn to speak here. After Lin Jiuzhou finished angrily, he looked at Chen Beiyuan. A smile appeared on his stern face. Sorry, Beiyuan, the Lin family has pampered Jiuxiao too much over the years, causing him to be too arrogant and domineering. I am here to apologize to you on his behalf. Third update. Chapter 49, Part 1. Lin Jiuzhou actually apologized. For a moment, everyone present took a breath, feeling incredible. You must know that this monster is a member of the younger generation of the Empire who has been famous for a long time, and his strength is not inferior to that of some strong men of the older generation. He even manifested the Tao Tai, fighting spirit, and swallowed alive a 7th grade war emperor. Among the many younger generation monsters in the Empire, Lin Jiuzhou is also ranked in the top 5. In contrast, Chen Beiyuan is a rising star of the new generation. After all, Chen Beiyuan is too young. He is only 18 years old now. But with the invincible power that just forced Lin Jiuzhou back with one punch, who dares to underestimate the young master of the Chen family? At this moment, everyone's attention was focused on Chen Beiyuan, wanting to see how the young master of the Chen family would react. The heir to the Lin family and the future head of the Lin family took the initiative to apologize. This is undoubtedly a huge honor. If it had been someone else, they might have gone down the stairs at this moment. It's a pity that the person Lin Jiuzhou is facing at this moment is called Chen Beiyuan. Is he arrogant and domineering? I think it shows his true nature. Just now, he represented the Lin family and wanted to start a war with my Chen family. So the question is, before you die, your brother can represent the Lin family? Or should you say that the Lin family has started from the beginning? Are you planning to start a war with me in the end? Chen Beiyuan's eyes were dim and his face was indifferent, and he said calmly. He obviously had no idea of exposing it directly. He came to the Empire Club today just to step on the Lin family. How could he let him go so easily? You just want to brush it off with just one sentence? How come you have such a big face? Lin Jiuzhou's expression changed slightly, and he slapped Lin Jiuxiao hard on the face with his backhand, instantly knocking him to the ground and angrily saying, Who asked you to represent the Lin family? Are you qualified for this? It seems that I haven't disciplined you for too long, which has caused you to lose your sense of awe, and you actually dare to act recklessly outside under the banner of the Lin family. After Lin Jiuzhou finished angrily, he ignored his beaten brother on the ground and looked at Chen Beiyuan again. However, this time, there was no smile on his face, and his voice was a bit colder. Are the Chen family satisfied with this explanation? Not enough. Chen Beiyuan said calmly. Now, the initiative is in his hands. Unless the Lin family really wants to go to war with the Chen family, they must give him an explanation. Again, the third son of the Lin family dares to fall out with him, the young master of the Chen family. Does he really think that the Chen family is a soft persimmon? Do you have the strength to start a war with my Chen family? Over the years, the Chen family has been ranked first in the imperial military. Apart from fighting alien ferocious beasts, when they have nothing to do, they like to beat up the Lin family's second in command. Let this guy not have any other little thoughts. Snapped. Lin Jiuzhou slapped him again with his backhand. Lin Jiuxiao, who was on the ground, suddenly trembled with fear. However, this time it was not Lin Jiuxiao who was slapped to the ground, but it was Lin Xiao who was watching the show from the sidelines. A Lin Xiao? He was watching a show and got a big punch for no reason? What a bully. Jiuxiao did something wrong. Why didn't you stop him? The Lin family's food was for free? Jiuxiao made a mistake by speaking rudely. If you didn't help stop him, the mistake would be even bigger. Jiuxiao has learned bad things over the years just because he has people like you around him. Lin Jiuzhou ignored Lin Zhao's confused expression and scolded angrily. Lin Zhao's face instantly darkened after being slapped for no reason, and he almost couldn't help but fall out. You mad? You don't know what kind of chicken your brother is? Why did he become evil because of me? I have only known him for a few days. You feel so sorry for your brother that you can't bear to continue beating me. Why don't you just hit me? Damn thing. But the thought of falling out with Lin Jiuzhou, the heir to the Lin family, is almost equivalent to falling out with the Lin family. At that time, the Lin family will be completely lost as a backer, and there will be no room for maneuver. Lin Xiao, the protagonist who is a miracle doctor, could only endure the frustration in his heart and continue to use his native skills as the protagonist. Forbearance. Are the Chen family satisfied with this explanation? Lin Jiuzhou looked straight at Chen Beiyuan with a cold face. Not enough. Chen Beiyuan said calmly. Not enough. Snapped. Another slap. Not enough. Snapped. Another slap. Not enough. Snapped. Another slap. Not his own brother. Lin Jiuzhou was really hard at slapping him in the face without any hesitation. In an instant, Lin Xiao activated his forbearance skill at least 5 times. That upright and awe-inspiring face was directly beaten into a pig's head. His fists were clenched and shaking. But it still doesn't happen now. He is worthy of being the protagonist of a miracle doctor. Looking at that look, Chen Beiyuan felt distressed. He had never used that much force against Lin Xiao. Lin Jiuzhou tried so hard that he just jumped up and kicked, for fear that it would not be enough. Lin Jiuxiao, who was on the ground, saw that Lin Xiao was beaten so badly by his elder brother, so he chose to pretend to be dead without making a sound, for fear that if he made a sound, it would be his turn to be slapped. The Chen family is still not satisfied? Lin Jiuzhou's face turned completely cold at this moment. The gaze he looked at Chen Beiyuan also became cold. He, the dignified young master of the Lin family, had already given Chen Beiyuan enough face and humbled him enough. If Chen Beiyuan is still not satisfied, he can only fight. As the saying goes, all clay figures have a certain amount of anger. The Lin family is not a fool. Faced with Lin Jiuzhou's almost questioning attitude, Chen Beiyuan did not give in at all and said tit for tat, not enough. What? You want to fight with me? Suddenly, the entire Empire Club was instantly enveloped in a chilling atmosphere. The two terrifying auras began to rise crazily and collided fiercely. The two prodigies, the younger generation of the Empire, seemed likely to take action at any time. At this moment, a crisp sound of footsteps suddenly appeared, immediately attracting the attention of the two people confronting each other. When they saw the person coming, Chen Beiyuan and Lin Jiuxiao raised their eyebrows slightly and subconsciously retracted the terrifying aura that had erupted. I saw that the person coming was suddenly a person wearing a snow-white dress with golden lines inlaid on the skirt, vaguely revealing a lifelike phoenix. The exposed skin was fair and beautiful, with a pair of perfectly proportioned long legs, and a woman with a natural noble and majestic temperament. As soon as she appeared on the stage, she instantly stunned everyone. He compared all the rich and wealthy ladies present. Empire Club can be named in the name of the Empire, and the power behind it can naturally be imagined. Naturally, it is the Imperial family. The owner behind this top club is His Highness the 6th Prince of the Donghua Empire, Jiang Yunhua. Chapter 50, Part 1. The Empire Club has a royal background. Since its establishment, most of those who dare to cause trouble here will end up miserable. Once upon a time, a young man from a wealthy family, relying on his family's powerful power and having an ancestor who was at the peak of the 7th Grade War Emperor, directly molested the club's employees, and the family behind him subsequently suffered unprecedented suppression. In the end, it was the head of the wealthy family who brought the erring family member to his door to plead guilty, and paid a huge price to reveal the matter. After that, The name and rules of the Imperial Club spread throughout Yinjing City instantly. Countless big shots regarded as a good place for socializing. It's a pity that today's Imperial Club has encountered a difficult situation. Donghua Qinjia, Chen Beiyuan, Donghua Lin family, Lin Juzhou. The heirs of two top aristocratic families clashed at the Empire Club, and the two top aristocratic families even looked like they were going to fight. These two don't care about any bullshit rules in your Empire Club. They are the ones who make the rules themselves. The general manager of the Empire Club, Zhang Beige, who was born in a branch of the royal family and has the cultivation of 7th grade war emperor, knows very well that he is a big shot in front of others. But in front of these two uncles, they were like ants. They could be crushed to death at will. He is not qualified to go up to break up the fight, and he does not dare to go up to break up the fight. If he goes up to break up the fight, he will die. Only by informing the master of the Empire Club, His Highness the 6th Prince of the Donghua Empire, Zhang Yunhua, and having this representative of the royal family come forward, can he be qualified to stop the two young masters of the top aristocratic families. Your Highness. Zhang Beige, who has white hair and is over 100 years old, secretly breathed a sigh of relief when he saw His Highness the 6th Prince Zhang Yunhua arrive before the two of them took action. He quickly wiped the cold sweat from his forehead, followed and stood behind him. Young Master Lin, can you give Yunhua a thin noodle? His Highness Zhang Yunhua's gaze first paused for a moment on Chen Beiyuan's expression, and then he looked at Lin Juzhou as if something strange had flashed across his face. When His Highness 6th Prince opens his mouth, Lin will naturally not refuse. The moment Lin Juzhou met Zhang Yunhua, a hint of surprise flashed in his eyes, and immediately he walked down the steps. The face of the imperial family must still be given. As the most beloved daughter of Emperor Donghua, Zhang Yunhua's status was already special. Coupled with the royal family's resource tilt, his strength is enough to rank among the top of the younger generation of the empire. Most of the time, Lin Juzhou didn't mind giving face to the 6th prince of the empire. Of course, part of the reason is that he doesn't want to have a direct conflict with Chen Beiyuan and the Chen family behind him so soon. After all, the matter on the border front regarding the distribution of interests in alien territories has not yet ended, and the Lin family has not eaten the meat yet. It is indeed unwise to offend the Chen family at this time. Seeing Lin Juzhou express his attitude, Zhang Yunhua also breathed a sigh of relief, and immediately looked at Chen Beiyuan, who was standing with his hands behind his hands. His beautiful and stunning face seemed to have changed a little, and even his tone became a little softer. Beiyuan, what did you say? One is called Young Master Lin, and the other is called Beiyuan. Even a fool can see the closeness and distance between them. 6 years ago, the imperial royal family intended to marry the Chen family of Donghua. The one chosen for marriage was His Highness Zhang Yunhua. This 6th Highness almost became Chen Beiyuan's fiancée back then. Since you are the one to ask, I will naturally not refuse. Chen Beiyuan met Zhang Yunhua's gaze, his deep and cold eyes filled with an evil spirit. He was extremely handsome, and his angular and stern face grinned with a hint of smile. Zhang Yunhua's identity as a woman is extremely special. She is also one of the lucky heroines of Urban Medical God Xiaola. In the original work, the Emperor's daughter hid her identity and entered a dangerous secret realm. However, she was attacked by a powerful alien race and was seriously injured. However, she was discovered by Son of Fortune Lin Xiao and treated her. Therefore, the Emperor's daughter had some affection for Lin Xiao and always wanted to repay him. Soon, during a major crisis, Lin Xiao encountered danger and was caught by Chen Beiyuan, the destined villain, and was tortured. At the critical moment, Zhang Yunhua learned of the matter and approached Chen Beiyuan personally, volunteering to sacrifice his life in exchange for Lin Xiao's life. Afterwards, Lin Xiao moved a lot of people and said that he didn't mind and he would marry her. However, what Lin Xiao didn't know at the time was that Zhang Yunhua, the heroine of luck, had always had a special affection for Chen Beiyuan, the destined villain. Whether her active devotion was really to save people, or whether she simply wanted to do something with Chen Beiyuan, I am afraid only the person involved will know. After the sacrifice, Zhang Yunhua said that we have no relationship, so he no longer paid attention to Lin Xiao, the Son of Fortune. However, as the Son of Fortune, Lin Xiao believed that Zhang Yunhua was deliberately provoking him and trying to make him work harder, because every time something happened to him, Zhang Yunhua couldn't wait to go to the Chen family to find Chen Beiyuan and suffered all the humiliation. However, what Lin Xiao didn't know was that Zhang Yunhua would also go to the Chen family when nothing happened to him. In the previous life, Chen Beiyuan was shocked when he saw the detailed plots in the original work. Okay, it is indeed a cool urban article. It's so cool. To a certain extent, Chen Beiyuan admired Zhang Yunhua, the imperial daughter with dedication spirit. When the other party spoke, Chen Beiyuan naturally didn't mind giving her face. In essence, he had no intention of killing the Lin family with one shot. After all, as the top family in the empire, the Lin family's strength is unfathomable, and it is only slightly weaker than the Chen family. How could it be killed so easily? This time, he just took advantage of the topic and hammered it out. Just treat it as a meeting gift to the Lin family. Facing Chen Beiyuan's meaningful words, Jiang Yunhua, the emperor's daughter, felt a throb in her heart at this moment, and even her breathing became a little faster. Especially when she was looked at by Chen Beiyuan's appreciative gaze, she felt a strange feeling. However, Chen Beiyuan quickly looked away from her, making her secretly relieved. And when the two people were looking at each other and talking to each other, Lin Xiao, who was as swollen as a pig's head, was looking at Jiang Yunhua with a look of obsession, his eyes full of greed and desire. He is not only because of Jiang Yunhua's stunning appearance, but also because of his strength and background. It is undeniable that in terms of appearance, Leng Ruobing can be compared with this imperial daughter, but in terms of temperament, she was immediately turned into a scumbag. Not to mention strength, background, and power. They are two extremes from each other. As the Sixth Highness most favored by Emperor Donghua, if I can get a wife, I'm afraid it will be enough to reach heaven in one step. Obviously, the protagonist, a miracle doctor with a philanthropic spirit, is tempted. The plot is guaranteed to be exciting. With your support, I will receive a wave of 5-star reviews.